My what? 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 Hmm? Nani?
Like, all over the place.
Oh yeah?
There's plenty everywhere.
This place is a tip.
Yeah, like that. Like, why is
Yeah.
that there?
Well, Buffy did ask, am I going to have a meeting before Monday? So just the Q&A. What? Can you hear me? What? Oh, where is it? Let me turn that off. Just make sure that's working. Okay, that should be there. Okay.
Oh, I need to share that. Was it shared out?
I've done all of that. All right, are we ready for
Is
this?
it pinned?
Yes. God, anything else? I got it all under control. Are we, I don't know, why is that not? Doing that a bit smaller.
Oh my god.
Am I doing this yet? Are we booming it yet? Anytime? Start recording, yeah? All that sort of stuff?
Alright.
Start recording, crack that open.
Oh yeah.
Boom! What is up, guys? This is Alex from Versus Figures.
Hey everyone, this is CHOCKS.
Welcome to Friday Q&A with CHOCKS in a 128. It is the 2nd of August, 2019. Good morning, America. Good afternoon, EU. Good evening, Asia. And you should definitely be sleeping, Australia. What is going on? How you guys been? Let us in the comments what's been keeping you busy for the last couple of days. No, the last 7 days. What have you been up to? Tell your doctors. We're in what is it, therapeutic doctor time right now.
Yeah.
Tell us all the info. What is going on, Manuel? How you doing?
Free of
Sabrina in the
charge.
house. Rafael, what's going on?
Tell us what's on your mind. Free of charge.
Mr. Gmail account is looking forward to getting his spike in the house. That's going to be pretty soon. That's awesome. Glad to hear
I
it.
see a lot of people receiving spikes.
That's sweet. Hanato, how you doing? MJP and oh, Chocks, we hit 100.
Why? Already? 101.
Right.
Is it 101?
104. 12 and 10.
Okay.
Justino in the house. How you doing? Sarah Wasserman. How's it going with you? Stephanie, what are you up to? Mona Lisa, it's been a while. It's been a good 7 days. How have you been? What is up? Nana say. Susan Thompson in the house. What's going on? Sam Montanes, welcome back. I know it's been a while since you've been hanging out with us. Glad to have you back at it again with us. How's it over in Canada right now? He says he's enjoying the beach, enjoying the summer beach in it, enjoying the 30+ degrees.
hot.
Sounds nice.
Sounds
Hot in Canada. That's not usually the weather that you associate with the Great White North. Alexander is from Germany. Was ist los? He says thanks again for his first FF Spyro. What, did you just get yourself a PVC in? What did you manage to get? Are you talking about today's one? What is going on, Tosha? How you doing? We've got Liam in the house. What's going on? Aaron, afternoon from the UK. Let us know what you should be doing instead of hanging out with us today. What would you normally do? What were you doing this time yesterday? Yes, this time yesterday. What were you doing? Jason says, show us that Spyro. That is a good point. Because there is something that I need to do. Yeah, that's absolutely right, Chalk. So let me find that. All that goodness. Close this up. Find the countdown to 12. We'll do it 11:45 because we're gonna make the stream a little bit. Leave that there, and then we are going to. There you go. We got that running right there. So, as you can see above my head over here, if you're here for the Spyro Reignited statue details, all of that good stuff will be shown in 1 hour and 38 minutes. So if that's what you were here for, and you're busy or you're in and out, that is when we're going to go through all of the information, what it looks like, what's the details, what's the pricing, when it's going to be released, all that good stuff. We will be going through all of that in an hour and 38 minutes. What is up, Mila? And we got Jonok from Sweden. How you doing? Lauren, what's going on? We've got Anthony Pierce in the house. I like it. Lauren says she would have been sleeping yesterday. And Liam says he should be working. Susan needs that Spyro. Zoe says she was on Minecraft this time yesterday. So that means you must be... whereabouts are you based? Hey, Buffalo's liking that Kiryu update, yeah? What would you do if you saw him walking down the street? Antonino, any news on that Luigi figure? Not just yet, but we'll let you know we're working really hard on it in the background. Really hard in the background.
Walking down the street.
Alright. What would you do if you saw Kiryu walking down the street? Would you cross over to the other side? Take him for karaoke?
The kind of guy I meet.
That's the kind of guy that you meet all the time, isn't it?
Pretty woman. Pretty man.
Alright.
Yes.
Alright. I know that if he saw me walking down the street, he'd walk across. He'd cross over the other way, mate. He knows. Don't mess. You don't want to catch it in the smoke. You don't want to catch it in the smoke. XX Irene says it's 19 days to Gamescom.
Really?
Unbelievable, Chocks.
Oh my god.
Because we're so ready, right? So ready.
So ready.
So ready. Just saw new cars coming in. I have to get. Oh, nice one, Justina. I think you were working at a Toyota dealership. Is that right? Remind
Sort
me.
me out. Sort me out.
You're Honda, mate.
Sort me out.
Hey, Nana! Congrats on the birthday.
Yeah.
He says he got himself some. He got himself some
What'd you
points.
Get? What'd you get? What'd you get for yourself? Another doctor?
Them PhDs are so easy to get nowadays, Chocks.
Yeah.
If we can get one.
How much it
Dr.
cost?
Nana in the
How
house.
much it cost? How much it cost?
Indeed. What did it cost? Hey, Sanders says he cannot wait for the new Spyro. The first Spyro figure is getting a bit lonely. Well, we're here to solve that problem.
Mazda. Ooh.
Nice.
Sort me out.
Vicky has a question for you, Chocks.
Vicky?
Mm.
Did Chocks had something to eat before the stream this time? Yes. We had some pork knuckle.
Well, you.
And some
It's more about you. I mean, obviously I
cauliflower.
always eat, but you. Cauliflower. The last time I checked, cauliflower ain't green.
Broccoli, sorry. Alright. Yeah, my bad. Broccoli.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bung! How you doing?
Thanks for asking, Vicky.
The cost I'll be paying it off for the rest of my damn life, but at least you'll be a doctor. We've got two doctors in the house so far, Chocks.
Yeah.
Dr. Nun and Dr. Bong.
Doctor who?
Dr. what?
Doctor who?
Dr. B. Do you ever play Tekken
Dr.
3?
B.
Dr. B.
No.
He was like the best character. He's like hanging
Did
out on
anyone
the floor.
care about Tekken 3?
It's like
Eh?
the Tekken 3 is like
No, it's
the
two.
game.
It's 2, isn't it?
No,
And then
Tekken
it-
3.
2.
No,
And then it went
3.
all Tekken Tag and all that stuff.
Tekken 3 is absolutely the golden era for my time growing up.
Yeah, really?
3 was the one that I spent so much time on. Knew all the characters, knew everything. I could even do King's rolling 8 octopus.
I think people
crap and
moved
stuff
on
like
from Tekken 2.
that. Huh?
Yeah.
Tekken Tag Team Tournament 2.
Oh, no. Just 2.
Mmm.
Ashley, what do you want? Gonna get my points I won last week?
Abdul Mohsen, he's
Did
got
you
himself
win?
a Spyro
Did you really
PVC.
Ashley, yes. Don't worry, Ashley.
What's up, James?
I've instructed the CS guys to give you points.
Points.
Yes, I've been a little bit busy last week, so I understand there's some outstanding folks that won the photo contest. Yes, JB, I know you've been sending me some messages. You've been hounded and pounded.
And that's why you're purposely taking a while, yeah? Because you wanted
taking a while.
because you wanted to get more hounded and
Yeah,
pounded.
yes. Now you know how I feel.
Liam knows that whatever you say about Soul Calibur 2, don't come near me when I've got
Soul
myself
Calibur
some
2?
nightmare. Absolutely.
Soul
Calibur.
Soul Edge. Has anyone played that?
Of
Soul
course,
Edge.
that's the OG.
Soul Blade. Soul Edge.
Soul Blade.
Soul Edge.
Soul Edge.
Soul Edge.
Was
yeah.
it Soul Blade? No.
I think it's Edge.
Yeah, Soul Edge.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
way
the OG
before-
one.
Yeah.
They had like this guy who was like a kind of Viking thing with a kind of like a wig with you guys would. Is his name Rock? Was it Rock? Don't know. Let me know. James B. How you doing? We've got Cassie B in the house as well. How you doing, Rebecca? Rebecca says she needs her Spyro.
I'm supposed to do something. I totally forgot.
What was that?
I totally forgot. That's yeah. That's fine.
Is there going to be a website where it's going to be sold out? Christian over on YouTube. Yes, that's right. It'll be on our website, firstofigures.com, right after the stream ends. It'll go right up.
Yep. It'll be the first pre-order right after the new website. Wonder how that's going to work. I haven't had a good chance. Actually, today I had a fairly decent chance to check out the new website.
Right.
Yeah.
Are we skipping ahead right now?
No.
All right then, Chocks.
Play Search of Spyro. Oh my god, that's quite a lot of Spyros to get through.
That is quite a lot of Spyros to go through.
Does that include the Toys to Life one?
All right, Chocks. Let's kick off the notices.
All right. Okay, so as you guys know from the title, it is the Spyro Reignited Resin Reservation. Hope you guys enjoyed the teaser video last week. We had it was really good. You know, we had a lot of fun, you know, with the effects, etc., etc. And yeah, we're really excited for tonight to show you the hype video and all that lovely stuff afterwards. So stick around. In an hour and 31 minutes, we will show you everything about the Spyro Reignited Resin, the pricing, the shipping, the additions, etc., etc. So please do enjoy. All right, so other pre-orders that are still open. Sonic and Tails pre-orders are open until 16th of August or longer. Other pre-orders that are still open are Ami PVC, Artorias Bus, that includes the life-size bus and the grand scale bus, Jet Black, Mini Aku Aku Mask, Mario and Yoshi, Meta Ridley, Mimic, Shovel Knight Player 2, Conquer, Phoenix Wright, Alphonse, and Psycho Mantis. Wow, that's a lot there. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot there, yeah.
Alexander Kratky, yes, we'll be at Gamescom this year. C20 or C10?
Hall 5.1.
Yeah, 5.1 then what?
CO20.
C20, yeah?
Yeah, C20.
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 Downstairs. So hall. So 5.1 is upstairs. That's where we were last year in the corner. So imagine you were there this year. You go down the stairs, which were right next to our booth from last year. Downstairs, and just right ahead, the second row, pretty much in the middle. That is 5.1020 C20.
Do you think, Chocks, that...
Not yet, Amber. You can pre-order like 1 hour and 30 minutes afterwards. We'll go through everything about Spyro.
Do you think that we're in a better location this year? I was a little bit concerned being up and versus downstairs. Because upstairs, pretty much last year, was predominantly a lot of other retailers around there, sort of doing this similar type of merchandise. Whereas this year, it seems to be, having a quick look at the floor plans of both levels, it's almost like it's a bit of a mixture and match between both, and I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like for downstairs, is like you get some big open area, which is mainly for, you know, the big boys, you know, whether it's a manufacturer, merchandise, publisher, whatever it is, and then the other section is a lot of retailers. But it also depends on the traffic, like where they're coming from. Because outside the halls, you can come in through upstairs or through downstairs, right? So it really depends on where people are coming from. Yeah.
I'll be interested to see. Yeah.
Last year downstairs was like the food area as well, wasn't it? Remember? You go downstairs and to the left, there was some food area. I'm not sure what's going to happen on that side.
I remember how you kept bloody doing orders and bringing you guys stuff because you couldn't leave the booth.
It was horrible. What was it? Like bread with like a meatball in the middle.
Yeah, they were lame because I was at the actual place.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
in the mornings, should like stock up on your just bring some
Oh, yeah,
sandwiches.
yeah.
That was better, like because it was a bit fresher, as well.
Hello, Teresa Lau. On Facebook.
Cool. Whether or not that is a met you in.
I'm not sure. Have we met? Have we met at ACGHK?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I know that this week there's a few folks from ACGHK came over to the office. You know,
Yeah, what was that all about?
because we had some items at the booth, and we kind of didn't have any stock left. So we say, hey, if you're in the Chunwan area, if you wouldn't mind, if it's okay with you, you know, we allow you to come over to the office and pick up the item.
Okay.
Yeah, a few of them did like call me beforehand and just rearrange. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna stay a little bit later tonight, so don't worry, come over and pick it up or whatever it is. And then there's a few people just came came upstairs and just strolled up.
During like the week.
Yeah, it was like today and yesterday. Just went ding dong, and it's like, I'm here for my stuff, and just like made themselves like just came walking in. I was like, Peggy, don't do that next time. Make sure they wait outside.
Right, because
Yeah.
like there's stuff around.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you were going on.
Yeah. I was like, don't do that.
So they came to the studio, or they came.
Yeah, I
to
feel no to here because we had to give them the office address so they know how to get here.
Right.
You know,
I thought.
yeah, usually the best way is to say, hey, this is the place. We'll come downstairs. We'll meet you at the in the the lobby, and then we can do the exchange there. But
It sounds like a drug deal.
yeah. Then Peggy's like, okay, we might as well just give you the office key kind of thing. So help yourself. Come straight in. So yeah.
Okay, and so is it everybody that was supposed to pick it up?
No, there's a few more people that needs to pick up stuff.
Are they already paid for it or something?
Yeah, they paid it at the booth.
So they. Oh, I see.
So it's like
coming-
to have the special offer,
Yeah.
you have to pay up front
Got it.
at the booth. And
So they're
then-
coming after work?
No,
or they're
some-
coming anytime
from-
during the
they're
time,
coming
different
from-
times?
They come in different times. A few came in like between 2 and 3, and then some.
Are they
came-
like kids on holiday or something?
No, they're like parents. Parents. Actually, the first person that came up to me to pick up the stuff was like a father and a son.
Okay.
Yeah, the son was really happy about it. Like, I took the item downstairs, put it out the bag, and was like really happy about it. And his dad was really nice, really friendly. He's like, yeah, we look forward to seeing you. Look forward to seeing you guys again.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I think it's probably a good time to talk about ACG then.
Did we not talk about it last week?
Well, you talked about setting it up. It was on a Friday, and now you've had Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, for last Friday was actually the first public day.
Right, and you didn't have any din-dins or anything like that, right?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So last Friday was like, okay, once I left like, I can't remember what time I left, 7 or 8 or something like that. So I had to make it back here for the stream, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. You know, traffic wasn't as high as last year, but
What is this follower anniversary thing?
what are you talking about?
What's this here? Follower milestone, follower anniversary. What's this?
On Facebook?
Yeah, what was that?
Now following this streamer. Follower anniversary. I don't know what that is.
Click on it. Having a badge on Facebook tells people something about you. Follow first figures to earn this badge. Type notify in the chat to start following. Damn, that's awesome. That's what our next hashtag is going to be.
Oh, exclamation mark notify.
Notify. Now
And what
follow the
does that mean?
streamer.
That means that if these like Ashley's following us, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Anniversary follower, please.
So yeah, type in. So that's our hashtag this week, John.
Oh, okay then.
And we'll go back up. What's this up? What is this? Keep going. I saw something out. Follow milestone. Follow milestone.
Follow a mile.
Here, are you there every day?
Yeah.
Type.
That's what it is. It's the same. It's the same exclamation mark notify.
So why is Manuel a follower milestone versus an anniversary?
Hey Manuel, yes, we are there every day at the Gamescom. from the 20th to the 24th.
Hey, Johnny Rivers, I just want to make sure that you know that this is not an actual game that we're making. It's an actual statue. Because there was quite a lot of confusion about what we were doing. I see in the comments on some of the... We had that with Banjo as well.
We had that with Banjo as well.
But it's...
And Conker as well.
Conker. It's not a new game. It's just a statue that I think the boys have done too good of a job to make it look like it's the trailer makes it seem like it's actually a game, but it's not, because I see some of the people asking questions in our event. They're like, "Hey, what game is this? What platform is it for?" I'm like, "How do I break this to you slowly?" They're like, "Wait a sec, Reunited's already out. This is old game." Not quite. Celeste Drury. Apparently, if you type in #notify, or no, well, you've done it now, so you might have actually...
Exclamation mark notify.
Yeah, if you do that, all of a sudden you become following the stream.
To earn another badge. Does it replace the current badge?
#denied. I wonder what is the difference between following a milestone versus
Follower anniversary.
I just reached a milestone myself on Spyro Universe. How do you... So...
what's all this? Chat commands available on the stream. Exclamation mark commands. Exclamation mark playing. Exclamation mark notify. Exclamation mark clip. Exclamation mark follow age.
Followage? Roll?
Followage?
What the hell is this? Can you try that out, Chocks? So go... Command. Exclamation mark command. This is all new. Command. Nothing.
There you go. Commands.
Oh, commands.
Commands with an S. Yeah. What's the dice for? 4, 6, 8, 10. Roll a dice.
Hey, Agalos, how you doing? Over in Sunnyside, Greece.
Let me roll a dice. Roll.
Doesn't work for you. Everyone's denying me because we're the... Try and be yourself. Maybe because you're the streamer. Try it under your own account. This is all very strange. What is follow it? It's crazy.
Not working.
Oh my god, it's so distracting. I don't even know what's
It's
going
not
on.
working. Yeah.
Alrighty, Chocks. Let's crack on with the rest of it. So AECG. Are we back at it again next week then? Next year?
Yeah, why not? Hopefully with a lot more PVCs.
Yeah.
There's a lot of interest with a few of the
So do you
PVCs.
feel like people were hey, I saw you last year and you're back this year. Were people more talking to you than
There were a
last year?
few. There were a few that actually came back from last year, but didn't really approach us to talk. But I could overhear them and say, "Oh, I saw these guys, or I saw that PVC last year." And so I overheard some of the conversations.
Right.
They didn't actually come up and say, "Hey, blah 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 blah."
Right.
Then I saw a few that said, "Hey, I pre-ordered Okami on your website."
Nice one, BV.
Yeah. Then
Right.
you know, like one or two, you know, were from the club. So
Okay, great. Yeah.
But most of them are new faces. Haven't seen us last year at all, so it's like new.
That's great.
Yeah, so that's good. Always nice to see new people.
No, definitely, of course. And it was something that is, it's probably almost like you have to repeat.
Yeah. And it's good to, it's a good way to gauge what are the public opinions on current trends, what's popular, what products they like, how much they're spending, how much they're willing to spend, you know, the trends.
What was it that people were looking at the most?
You mean products for sale or products that are on display?
Whatever your observations
I
were.
would say,
what do you notice about the trends in Hong Kong?
Well, for our booth, there were a lot of people were looking at the All Mights.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much with the Sonic TF at first, but over time, over the course of those days, a lot of people, young and old,
Recognizing them.
Yeah, they're recognizing it. Like, Yeah, because it's a classic Sonic we were showing, right? So
Correct.
a lot of the younger kids, like really like under 10, noticed the classic as well.
Would you think they'd be more interested in the modern?
I don't know.
Kind of weird,
Because
isn't
we
it?
didn't show them modern, but you know.
Congrats, Tosha says.
But
Showing
definitely,
the
definitely,
exclusive
you know, obviously,
converted.
definitely a lot of people taking notice with the PVCs.
Right. I mean, it's definitely a no-brainer for us to keep on going down that path of doing more and more PVCs because it's about the convention. They kind of go hand in hand. As we want to do more and more conventions, it really is.
We definitely need another glass cabinet next time if we're showing more PVCs.
Critic blocked, mate. Double layer. So I was just thinking, Jogs, if you go back and think about what happened after New York Comic Con, we did that in 2017, in October 2017. And we've gone on since then. That was our first ever convention, that's a public convention, that we've ever been to. Do you remember what we've done since then?
After New York?
Yeah.
Well, it was ACG, wasn't it?
Correct. ACG 2018.
Yeah. Gamescom.
2018.
Yeah. MCM.
2018. That's in London.
Yeah, then that was it.
Okay, keep going.
Then 2019, yeah?
Yeah. So 1 in 2017, 3 in 2018. Yeah. Okay, so what are we doing in 2019?
ACG.
Easy.
ECCC.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I know you want to put that out of your mind, but...
Yeah, Emerald City Con.
Yep. What's up, Gabriel?
So ACG.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now we'll go into Gamescom. Yeah. Now, do we talk?
We announced it last week.
We announced it, yeah. PAX West.
We're doing it, guys. PAX West.
PAX West. And then
Possibly. Well, we someone finalizes, yeah, but it looks like we'll be doing
EGX and MCM.
6. How do you go from 1 to 3 to 6? Well, you have to do that and realize quite quickly that PVCs go hand in hand with conventions and booths and all that sort of stuff, of reasons to come over. And yeah, that's the reality, Jocks. I think it just highlights that we need to, in order to sustain a growing convention kind of presence, it makes sense to have more and more PVCs in order to support that. It kind of goes hand in hand. If we weren't doing if we didn't have the ambition to do more and more conventions, I probably wouldn't be so focused on the PVCs. I mean, that's not quite true, but there are other reasons why we're concentrating on the PVCs as well. It's just, it really goes hand in hand with the development of the booths. Like so what I mean is, if we weren't doing the PVCs, we wouldn't be going to many conventions. Simple as that. But because we are developing all the PVCs for other reasons, that are well documented, allows for us to do more conventions. So I think next year we need to really sort of start considering, it takes a toll, of course, on you, Peggy, other people, all that sort of stuff. Whether or not that we start having to seriously think about whether or not this is a kind of, how do I say it, what we're expecting to get from the cons. It's going to be the next time that we go to Gamescom. This is the second time that we've gone to ACG, so we're beginning to get a repetition of something, and therefore we're to see if it's been better as we go with more product, more offerings. Now, this year's Gamescom and last year's Gamescom, the product offering isn't that much more. Unfortunately, it is just what it is, right? Just the timing didn't work out. But next year's, assuming we go back to Gamescom in 2020, it's going to be significantly more offerings for that.
Yeah.
Hey, Indo Dudders, how you doing? Where are you right now, mate? Oh, he's messaging you from Barbados. What are you doing over there? That's Dudders. Mark
Mark.
George, yeah. Do you know they have internet over there? Oi, skinny guys, give me a shout out.
Skinny guys.
Oh, hey, can you give me a shout out?
Oh, sorry. Oh, wow.
Indeed. How you?
It's been a while.
It's been a while. When are you coming over to Hong Kong, mate? We need to We need to take your money, the old poker. Neffy says, you had a really nice booth last year, baiting me hard into ordering Mimic. This year's one is smaller, but the reason why it's smaller is because, you know, I think the size is about the same. It's last time we had that kind of storage thing that kind of like half cut off quite a lot, and it really meant it to be. It was kind of weirdly shaped, kind of like a kind of corner weirdly thing.
It was a weirdly shaped.
So what is the size of it? It's 12. It's 4 meters. Yeah, 5 meters by
9.5 or something like that.
5 by 9.5.
Yeah, something like that.
5 meters
Something like that.
by
yeah.
9.5 meters. So that's no, but yeah, 5 meters by 9.5. Yeah. Oh, might I know.
Yeah. So yeah, we're busy working away on that one. Whilst we're talking about conventions, guys, if you are available around August 20 to 24th, around that August time, we're looking for helpers at Gamescom. Please do PM Peggy or myself. Much appreciate that if we could have some help during that Gamescom convention. And the same applies to PAX West as well. So PAX West is going to be our first time. I mean, we've been to Seattle, obviously. It's the same convention area. But PAX West is going to be a whole different crowd, hopefully. Gamer-centric, so hopefully it will be the equivalent of a Gamescom, but in the States. So hopefully it's the first of many. You know, we're looking, you know, obviously we want to do a yearly thing with Gamescom. We want to do the same thing with PAX West, PAX East.
Right.
Maybe,
right,
depending on the time of the schedule of the year,
right.
etc. So hopefully, you know, like, hey, if you could make it out for Gamescom, PAX West, you know, enjoy the ride with us. If we could help out during the first year, during the second year, the third year, you know, hopefully something that we could collaborate or work together on a yearly basis, that would be much appreciated. So anyone that could help out during PAX West and Gamescom, do PM us.
Nice one, Raphael. I was already given a message to Peggy. I appreciate that.
Yeah, nice one, Raphael.
What's up, Duds? You're now on YouTube. I like it. He's back
What?
on. He's now on YouTube.
Oh, what the hell?
He's like switching between different countries. There's also different platforms as well.
He's got a different name as well.
Alright. Martin Coniali, appreciate the offer. He says, just need help beating the booth. You know, Peggy's not quite very strong, is she? So we need big boys like you, Martin, to help with that. For sure. Alright, Chocks. So, the new website is live. Now, it's been a long time in coming. It went live. There are still teething problems. And if we didn't quite realize it, or I didn't quite appreciate it, that Man, who is the guy who's been running the... from our IT team who's been running the Switch, has gone on holiday. It's like the worst time I didn't even realize. But he did quite a good job in terms of we went live and there was a lot of teething problems that he quite quickly dealt with. But there's still quite some underlying stuff that I've just been putting into that. I see Peggy's joined that Slack group as well. Is that right? Just since she notices anything as well?
Miguel.
Oh.
No. Anything with regards to blogs and news sections, Miguel is punching the issues in there as well.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So anything, you know, anything blog related and stuff like that, that's been highlighted for the IT guys to look into.
Right. So, if you guys haven't had a chance to check it out, please do check it out. There's still some niggling issues depending on what... Mainly it's a mobile mode, and there are some things that we're going to look to change based on the feedback, but I need to wait for Man to turn up. One of the things is, Chocks, you know how right now if you look at if you look at the blog, if you look at our page on desktop, it's beautiful 16 by 9, etc., that sort of styling. What you'll do is you'll see a block of the videos, then you'll see a block of the latest pre-orders, and then you'll see a block of a horizontal row of our... What the hell?
What the hell? What?
This is the old... Hold on.
No, don't do that for me. No, don't clear that. I don't want to clear anything.
You don't want to clear the cache?
I don't want to clear my stuff, yeah. I don't want to start, like, punching in passwords and all that stuff in.
That's nothing to do with passwords and stuff. This is not the correct setup.
It's only that.
No, it's not. There's no background.
Well, just that then. I like it. Don't touch my stuff. Don't touch my stuff.
All right, scroll down then.
Yeah.
So you see that block of the block of Facebook.
Social media. Yeah.
It's okay on
On desktop,
on desktop.
but not so much on mobile.
Because what happens is it goes into vertical mode and then you have 3 posts and it's really long before you scroll to the next one.
So it goes vertically down instead of horizontal.
Exactly.
Right.
So the plan is to make the CSS feed. I'm talking like I know what I'm talking about, right? The CSS feed to be able to realize that if it's mobile mode, it should only point and show 1 post,
Aye.
and then hit the load more, right? And then therefore you get to the FRF content a little bit more.
And I guess it's the
quickly.
same. I guess it's the same for the YouTube and the Instagram, right?
YouTube doesn't push it long lengthways.
Lengthways, okay.
So that's not so much a problem. You can sort of scroll past that pretty quickly. It's just, oh for fuck's sake, married couple already fighting over tech. You're like stuck on his own ways. He doesn't want to embrace the new version. Oh, I like the old one. Yeah, the guy who wanted the website so bad he doesn't want the new website fully working. Oh dear.
Wake me up when it actually works.
Absolutely. So yeah, no, we're definitely, and Jacinta says an app. Well, that would be quite interesting.
Yeah.
Certainly on our to-do
A lot of
list
people
from
have been-
2016.
A lot of people have been saying that since like God knows how.
2016. It's
Yeah.
been on our list of things to do. Well, the tag of the signature item is really messed up. Okay. Neffy,
Oh my God,
can you PM me a screenie, please, so I can put it to man.
It's like, I'm
And,
sure,
and what
there's
version
There's
you're on?
like bugs for days, for months, for weeks, for years.
What need that fix? My points is wrong. It says I only have 7,000 when I have 500,000. I see it, Liam. I see you. What's up, Christoph? How you doing? James, did I get my PM about the website?
Oh my God.
Was it recently? I've been super busy.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to reply to some PMs as well.
Oh. Yeah, no. I see it, but I haven't clicked on it. So thanks. If there's something about that, I will check that out. I appreciate that. Trade screen for Neffy. CHOCKS is now Rip Van Winkle. Alright, so the new website is, as I said, it's some either love it or hate it.
Yeah.
It's not as user friendly as before. You kind of go quite deep in like how to find your tickets. You need to sort of see how we can make it.
Peggy doesn't like the way the blog. It's like screwing up. You know, when we looked at the FAQ and all that stuff, it's like screwing up. There's like there's a crap ton of like these blue text, and it's like, why is it like that? Why is the hyperlinks like that, etc., etc.? Why is it all that black?
Yeah.
Yeah, the grey black background is much nicer on the eyes. You know, I quite like because like before it's like just black text on white, and it's like, oh, I'm falling asleep. Yeah, so a lot aesthetically, there's still a lot of stuff to do.
The logo drop down box. Do you mean like the what is it? The search bar. You mean the search bar?
Search bar?
Yeah. Nice one, Melissa. I appreciate that.
Yeah, even like these filters stuff. So I click on that, I go to resonance. It's like, ugh, why is it showing all that old stuff?
Oh right. Because that's almost like showing every product, isn't it?
Why is that still doesn't have an S? These could be done in a nice square shape. It's taken a lot of
Bandwidth. Yeah, no, I just told him just to put it, just from the other ones, just to get it up and ready.
Yeah. Customer service. Ooh, we got a customer service. That could be done better, isn't it? Like a nice little description. It says, you found us.
Damn. Gotta get rid of that popular tag.
Yeah,
so
popular
annoying.
tags and
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
well.
Yeah, just a nice little description. It's like, if you have any issues, if you blah blah blah. Thank
Right.
you. Yeah.
Thanks, Vicky. I appreciate that. Yeah, Donnie, it's a new website. Go check it out. Chris Harris said, hey guys, on the news I can't find CS emails and responses. You need to go to my account, my tickets. Something like that. It's definitely there. It's not as user friendly. It should probably be like at the top if you have anything like that. Almost like yeah. It's definitely some stuff that we need to improve on. All right, Chocks, let's keep on going. The rest of the week.
No, it's the weekend review now.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So we've done that.
We've done that.
Yeah. So I did a kind of like a nice kind of community thing, Chocks. I noticed it really for quite a lot in Okami that people were showing off their tattoos and their fan art. Well, it was sort of just coming out. It was a little bit, how do I say, kind of random. And, it was hype week, so I didn't really want to sort of do anything about it. But with Spyro, I think it would be nice that, or whenever we do any new launch, it should be, hey, what is it? Why is it that you like this franchise? What is it that connects you to this franchise? The second one is, do you have any tattoos that shows your passion for this franchise? And the last one is there any fan art that you like that you've made yourself? Share that with us. And it's a nice sort of thing that people can keep going back to, and it's just a nice way to sort of involve the community for a little bit more of a discussion than usually what we normally get from a day-to-day thing. So every time we do a new launch,
let's see how it goes. You created a few threads, right?
3, yeah. So the first one, as I said, why do you love Spyro? Spyro fan art and tattoos. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, and you're a fan of Spyro, you have any of those, anything that you want to share, do check that out. When will Midna conversions start happening? When we're really in production? I mean, Neffy's got a Kingdom Hearts tattoo. Well, if we ever get the license for that, there will be a thread that will be shows of Kingdom Hearts tattoos, and you'll be right in there. Right in there. Isn't it in the Dropbox once you log in? Yeah, it should be, Liam. Yeah, that's right, Nana. We should have done them earlier. It sort of was kind of shown to us that there should be an outlet for the Okami. Maybe it's because there wasn't very many big Okami kind of groups out there, and they kind of sort of do that within the OCC a little bit, I would say. Nice one, Tosha. Got Pokemon tattoos. Liam, I look forward to seeing it when it happens eventually. Oh, Derek says dark colors help battery life on mobile. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, it doesn't need to be so bright. All right, so testing the mini crystal dragons. Are they being packed away?
Yeah, they're packed. They're packed away, ready to be shipped out.
If you guys haven't had a chance to see, that was quite a nice response to that, Chocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty positive when we kind of like when we did the launch for the Crystal Dragon, right? When we first showed that, it's kind of like spiraled from there on.
And Pinches, go and put your Crystal Dragon tattoo in that Spyro thread. There's someone else who also has one as well. It's something Georgina Martin, I think, off the top of my head. It was like the first post, and she's got a Crystal Dragon. I've seen obviously a lot of people have Spyro ones, but not that many have Spyro and Sparks. Not that many have non-Spyro related ones, but she had a Crystal Dragon one. It seems also that Anna does as well. Nice one, Chris. Found it.
I have a tattoo of a penguin going to work.
Nice one. So the Crystal Dragon, mini Crystal Dragons, it's a nice little weight to it. It's painted beautifully in different styles. We had 4 versions, wasn't it, Chogs? We saw the sort of kind of goldy kind of thing, silvery. Then you have that beautiful blue, and then the green, the kind of glow in the dark style. So we're going to test out a couple of other things if we can. The first one's going to be one that's an actual representation of a mini Crystal Dragon, as in it's literally the Crystal Dragon just miniaturized. So with the horns painted, the base itself is going to have the actual design of the original.
The pattern.
Yeah, right. We're also going to try an iridescent kind of, like, that thing kind of looks like, I mean, you look at it from different, have you seen those cars that kind of look like a rainbow in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to try that. Yeah. Is it iridescent? I don't even know what's it's like.
Pearl, is it?
No, it's not pearlescent. Pearlescent. That's just kind of got that kind of that sort of sheen to it. But it's kind of like when you look at it from one angle, it's like gold, and then you look at it from another angle, it's like purple. You look at it from another one, it's pink, and then you look at it, it's like red. It's kind of depending.
What
on...
about those? Yeah. What about it reacts to water, and it changes.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Cool,
Straight in the rust. That's how it reacts to water, mate. It goes rusty. Cause
No,
it's
it's like it's got another. It's like it has a underlayer. You can have like an image.
This is not bloody heat transfer
Have you not seen
cups.
it? Have you not seen it?
Like when you drink your tea and then you have the lady
Like-
and then all of a sudden she's got the tea and all of a sudden she's not. Well. Let me see the Buffy thread.
You know, when you have like water, like, and then it changes to a different image.
Here, this one here. Cool, right? So you see it from different angles. It's like a kaleidoscope of colours.
That would work cool with Warp Star Kirby. Not Warp Star Kirby. Sorry, what do you call it?
No, it's like the anti of that. What are you talking about? I know what you're saying there. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a character that does that. That would work nice with the Mario as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Yeah.
the is it the rainbow track?
What you mean when he goes power up?
Yeah, it goes, no, not that power.
What? Rainbow Road?
Is it
You're talking
Rainbow
about?
Road?
Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Is it speed up or power up? What kind of power up? In the Mario.
It's just an invincibility. Gets the gold star in it.
Is it?
Of course.
Yeah.
It's just a bloody gold star in it.
Like that.
Yeah. Invincible Mario. That looks sick.
Trippy.
Yeah, that looks awesome. The countdown timer has broken.
Is it?
Oh yes, it has.
There's about an hour left.
Thank you. Should be okay now. Yes, it's okay.
So does anyone know what I'm talking about? Like a paint job on the car, and then like when it reacts to water and it shows an image underneath it as well. And then when it's dry, it just goes back to the original color.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's
It's
a lot
like,
of.
it's like those color changing clothes, those shirts. Remember back in the
Would you
day?
not actually do them like actually
Remember.
coated in what?
Those sweat when it sweats and it.
That's nasty.
I know it's nasty, but back in the day, right? Like I don't know
What, like tie dye time?
what do they call them? Those shirts. Color changing, right? Color changing shirts. Like that,
Yeah.
Yeah. Magic color.
Congrats, Sebastian. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Wet t-shirt concert is Gamescom. They also paint their reacts to different lights. Yeah, that's right. I've seen it. You put them in the daylight. You don't put them in the daylight. UV. All that sort of stuff. Quite cool. Yeah, it's like that. Like car paint.
I've seen something like that reacts to water. It's really cool. It changes.
Yeah. Robert Ayala, you guys should look into Paper Mario, specifically Paper Mario: The Thousand Years Doors. I'm positive you guys come up with something cool design. That would be awesome. Eleanor, any Luigi news? You're working really hard on it. Will it have any lights? I'm pretty sure. Yes. Should do. Yeah, alright, cool. Let's carry on with Chocks. What else is there to see? So the mini Crystal Dragons, we're going to be showing that at Gamescom, so they've been sent off. Yeah? Alright, cool. Yakuza, what would you do if you saw this guy looking at you? So, if you haven't checked it out, in the club there is a post that I've done on Kiryu. He's coming along now. It's almost to the point where we can submit him. And look forward to that. I mean, that design, you take a kind of generic character that's a human and made it into something that really is quite creative. Really happy with how it came out. I mean, there's a lot of sort of things like, oh, the obvious thing would be, oh, like, stick him in front of the Kabukicho, like, the gate, right? Then it's like, but that was never going to happen. First of all, it's going to be out of scale and it's going to be too difficult to make or too costly to make is the more important thing. But the way that it's been designed now, it's really quite clever. When you take something quite simple and make it into something a little bit more, when you don't think you're going to have much chance to be creative, to make it quite creative. I really like that. I really like how it's come along. Anna, is there any update on the Crystal Dragon? So the wings have now pretty much been printed. We added some thickness to the wing so it didn't droop because it didn't pass our heating tests. So we have got the new one. We're now going to duplicate it to make sure that, and then do the test. And if that's okay, then off to production. Robert, we will not have a booth at Crunchyroll's Expo this month. So what do you want to do, Chocks, next year?
What do you mean what I want to do?
Anime, no, I'm saying what do we want to do, like con-wise? Wow, it's too early to say, but yeah. God, it makes me feel...
Makes you feel what?
What's the word? 头晕了, thinking about...
What?
Like, you feel like dizzy thinking about how many conventions there possibly could be.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. There's conventions happening every single weekend.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, like China Joy this weekend and all that stuff.
Man, we were thinking about doing that, weren't we, this year? It would have been ACG straight into China Joy.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see what's going on out there. Market research. What's the latest trend? What are people too willing to spend? SakuraCon.
Where's that? Yeah, I want to do
I've
Anime
heard of
Expo.
that.
That's definitely on our list.
Dutch Comic Con.
Is Dutch Comic Con like the what is it, like FAX? Is that what I'm thinking of? Or is that Belgium?
Oh, facts.
Yeah, you heard of that?
Yeah, you heard of
What if this time next year you hit 100,000 followers on Facebook? Chocks will have to start F5. Actually, you're talking about on Facebook. You're talking about in the club. You must be talking about the club, yeah.
He's looking forward to my retirement.
Seattle, Washington. What's in Seattle, Washington?
I think he's talking about SakuraCon.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? How many have we already been to Seattle, Washington?
How
quite
many
a few
times can you go to Seattle?
Right, I know, right? Collection Neo, how you doing? So,
That's Belgium DCC. Fax is
Oh,
Belgium.
Belgium.
DCC is the Netherlands.
MechaCon in New Orleans.
New Orleans has great seafood, right? Is that right?
New Orleans?
Yeah. What's it famous for?
French cuisine.
Oh.
Is that right? Is it? Why do I feel like it's got French?
It was good.
What's New Orleans famous for?
Uh-huh. Kevin Bookbinder. He goes to Seattle every day.
We saw Mr. Bookbinder.
Yeah, we did. He's going to sue us. Is it? Is he gonna
Objections.
sue us?
He's a lawyer.
I know.
That's right.
Yes.
Hurricanes.
He's a lawyer for the
unfortunately,
big
I know.
boys.
MegaCon Orlando. Floods. Mardi Gras and Creole food. Right. Yeah.
Mardi
That's
Gras.
what it is. What is that? I saw American Horror Story and it was like New Orleans. It was like voodoo. Stuff like that going up with that. Sealed 7 says we need to rally for fans for Rainbow Road Diorama N64 version. Nice. Junior Guzman, how you
There'll be
doing?
a lot of flashing lights.
That would be cray.
I know.
That would be really cool. All right, so the Shiranui PVC back on track. The silhouette looks way better now. Before he was alpaca. Was it alpaca?
It's a before and after, isn't it?
That's right. Did you
Yeah.
get a chance to see
I
that?
saw
Right.
that
Yeah.
post,
So the
yeah.
silhouette looks a lot better. So I'm really pumped about that. It's so working on that. That's cool. Then we also have the AMI PVC, one by one. You see that the plants themselves are done in a way that they're separated into many parts that you have to kind of connect together. It's just the way that it comes out of the piece, out of the molds. So there's tons and tons and tons and tons of pieces, and as we're obviously deep in development for that in terms of production, we'll start showing more and more of those as they go through the different stages of production. Seizure warning for Rainbow Road statue.
Yeah, we'd probably need to put one of those, like, back in the day the game manuals didn't have an extra information with regards to, like, having a seizure effect.
Right.
For staring at flashing lights whilst gaming.
Say that again?
Epileptic fit.
Yeah, who's that? What's that again?
Like in the game manuals back in the day, there's no like warning signs with regards to that kind of stuff. Yeah, and then eventually they had to put that in.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Epilepsy and all that stuff.
Sure. I avoided. I think living close to it ruins the appeal. What's he talking about? Sean Reynolds.
He's talking about New Orleans.
Ah.
Yeah, too much of everything's a bit overkill.
Or maybe, yeah, I mean, it's like, how many times have you been to all the tourist things in Hong Kong? Never. Right? Hey, Ali C, you being very generous again, gifting out the subs. Much appreciated. Thank you so much.
Gifting what?
Subs in Twitch. So I think that means that you can watch, I guess, so guys on Twitch, when we have a long stream like this, are there adverts? And if so, do they disappear at the bottom, or does the video stop, or what happens with that?
You had some of your favorite experiences in City Park.
In New Orleans.
What is it to do in the park?
I sent an emote. I sent the maid emote to Alex, but he has to look into it, so... What? When was this? Did you PM me?
You got your own...
Yes. But I don't think we can have our own custom Twitch emotes until sometime later. I have an ad blocker. Adverts when you open the stream. You get adverts at the start sometimes.
When you first go on Twitch, you get an ad. Ads are usually right before you can see the stream.
Really? Really? I guess it makes sense that you shouldn't have it during the stream, because it'd be like in the middle of a boss fight or something like that. And then an advert runs. That would be weird.
Oh, and when the streamer chooses to run.
You're an affiliate on Twitch, right? Then you have one emote slot. What?
So you can run an ad when you go on your toilet break. Kevin says you can run your ad whenever you choose to.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So every time you run an ad, you can give out some reward points.
Right, exactly. Can Express Irene, can you put the emote in? Wait, you can't put the emote in here, right? How on earth does that even work? Yeah.
When are we gonna be sending out the Spyro statues?
Happy emote. So how do I do this?
What do you mean, Michaela?
Look at this. How on earth do I get this? You're looking at the emote, yeah? So
yeah.
How on earth, Irene Van Blugen, do I get this in the thing? Because that sounds amazing.
Hey.
Okay. How on earth do I get that? And settings? Where's this emote thing? See if you can find it, like how to do it.
Yeah, Alex Nanase made it. What?
Oh, nice one, Anase. Irene W. Van WG. Okay, cool. So, yeah, I'm not sure how to. If we can add that emote, that would be cool. All right, cool. All right, so carrying on. Yeah, would appreciate a YouTube sub. Yeah, begging. I did a post begging for YouTube subs. No, that should be all right. I mean, I think it was. I did a.
Once every blue moon is fine.
Begging for YouTube subscriptions. YouTube. I actually did.
Just go to your dashboard, go to affiliate partner settings tab, click emotes.
What? Go to your
upload
dashboard.
your emoticon in the sizes specified for each tier. Click save.
Create a
changes.
dashboard. And then go to where? Prime.
The more subscribers you have, the more emojis you can activate.
Go to which thing? What'd you say?
Go to affiliate partner settings, click emotes.
Affiliate partner settings. Affiliate, oh. Continue to configuration. Sound component, what's this? Extension, what? We'll worry about that later. Extension, don't even know what that is. Emote! Emotes! Emotes 1 of 2! 1 of 2, baby!
Where?
Yeah, emotes. One extra emote for...
0 of 2.
Yeah, I know, so I can have 2. How do I... Oh. Emote size, tier 1. Have you given me 3 tiers? Oh my god, this sounds quite... Are they different sizes? Oh, yes. Oh my gosh.
How do you put it across?
Save image as. That'll be the smallest one, I'm assuming. This is save image to save image as.
Hey Robert, with regards to Okami PVC, there's a video, there's a production video in the club right now. Do check it out. Do you guys send out Spyro statues? What do you mean, Michaela? Which Spyro are we talking about? The PVCs? You can also give a nice button to your subscribers to highlight them as a sub. A button.
How? So, see if the emotes work now. See if there's a way that you can do it there. Alright, cool. Collector's Edition giveaway still ongoing. Does that make any sense to you? Oh, that's for
the
Sonic, yeah?
Mania, yeah.
Sweet.
So the photo contest giveaway is still ongoing. Guys, if you don't know what I'm talking about, just do a quick search for Sonic Mania giveaway or search David, our admin that created the thread with regards to the Sonic Mania photo contest. Just make sure your entries are sent to him for a chance to win the collector's edition, the Xbox One version.
Alright, Chocks. Over to you for Temptation Thursday.
Alright.
I prepared the Q&A.
Temptation Thursday, right. TT 161, Street Fighter 2. Like, guys, you should do some Street Fighter statues. And he's like, no, there's too many in the market. Let's see. So, Street Fighter 2 last week. It was Ken from Street Fighter 2. So 252 votes in total. 185 says no. 67 says yes. So I don't think it has really moved much since last week. Okay, so this week's TT.
Really?
Bloodstain.
That's interesting.
Miriam.
Wow.
260 votes in total. 120 says no. Currently 140 says yes.
Interesting. That's been a long time since we had a yes overall. I'm looking down the list of He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Keep going. 8, 9.
This one.
Yeah, Mario Kart.
Mario Kart.
Yeah, keep going. 10, 11. Okay, and the other one was Aloy.
Yeah. And Fox. Foxy McCloud.
And then the next one is Overlord.
Overlord. Old Traveler.
Journey, yeah.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Keep going, keep going. There's quite a lot there. Keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. You can just look at the blue line there. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Even though everyone said it's the wrong guy.
I know.
But there, look, it was more positives.
Fairy Tale.
Fairy Tale. Seven Deadly Sins. Keep going, keep going. Inuyasha. There's quite a lot of yeses. Footy Coolie.
On the tails. Yeah,
Oh wow, 1%. Yeah. Yeah. Code Yes. Hollow Knight. That's pretty decent.
Vampire Hunter D.
Sailor
Sailor Moon.
Zone of Enders. Ness.
Mother. Animal Crossing. Xenoblade.
Shulk. Captain Falcon.
F-Zero.
Attack on Titan.
Steins Gate.
Gate.
Splatoon.
Splatoon.
No.
Golden
Sun.
Sun. 2B.
Yeah, Nia. Ori. Close. Kenshin. Digimon.
Huh. Interesting.
Knights.
That's Riala, yeah.
Yeah. Assassin's Creed. Secret of Mana. Pokemon.
Now you see quite a lot more.
Banjo. My Hero. Legend of Dragoon. Luigi.
So what you're saying is basically ever since you started
DK.
using Lamos, or Peggy's been choosing Lamos, that's what you're telling me.
The scale has tipped.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. King of the Ring is open until the 6th of August. Nana, how are we doing with entries? How are we doing with that? So I was quite surprised that Bloodstain, Maria, is doing so well. I mean...
Next week's is Hunter x Hunter.
All right, nice.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And we have some hashtag winners.
Yeah, last week's hashtag.
I've seen one at least on the stream, which is great.
Last week's hashtag was hashtag
F4F, because you paused and you couldn't figure anything out, so hashtag F4F. And we have 2 winners. That is Andrea Milk.Herrera. Congrats. I've seen you on the stream already. And Melissa Isabel Sekler. Congratulations. 2 winners. All right. This week's hashtag is no hashtag. ! Notify. Wasn't it, Chocks?
Notify, yeah.
Yeah.
So what?
! Notify. Then people become followers. This week's
non-hashtag is !
Notify. Under your name. Doesn't matter. Pin that post.
I thought I've changed it.
You gotta click on that as well. That's what you gotta do. Then it changes it to you. Does that mean that when you do the notify, does it make you... Does it... It's now following the stream.
Me?
Yeah, no. Everyone who's doing it is following the stream. Or That's brilliant. You know what, Chocks? I have the sneaking suspicion it might be the same next week as well. That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
If we do it a second time, then we unfollow. Really?
You're kidding me.
Nah, would it?
No.
It's probably a different command, right?
Surely not. Too bad it isn't sending a sound to annoy me. What's happened?
Alright guys, 34 minutes until the Spyro Reignited review.
All right, let's do this. Is that Is that everything?
That's it, yeah. None of that.
Nana, did you let us know how many people have joined the stream at the? How many people are on the whatchamacallit?
Hey Philippe, what's up with Shovel Knight? Been waiting in that for a while now. Which one?
That's already production is finished, so it's on the way.
Player 2? Are you talking about Player 2?
I think you're talking about the regular one.
The blue one? Or the ornate one?
All right, Liam O'Brien, Alex, how's the band you're part of doing in Japan lately?
What?
Do you want to help me translate that?
How's the band you're part of doing in Japan lately? Is it that post about you? Leon asking you like, how's your music or something going on? You know,
oh right,
yeah.
The one that amazed me that looked like that. Yeah. Well, that's my alter ego. If anyone ever wins, or who that or wins.
I don't get it. Is that supposed to look like you?
Apparently.
Oh. Okay.
All right. Shout out straight away, Chocks.
Yeah, I know.
Wow, look at that.
Get it out of the way.
Nice. Shout out to
before
Derry gets on the stream.
Yeah.
I love it. Sean Reynolds, what's going on? Hold tight, Matthew O'Donnell. What's going on, Chris Harrison? Sabrina in the house. Thomas Drew, what's going on? We've got Vicky, what's up? We've got Anders Stenson. How you doing, Femke? What's up? And we have a shout out to Catherine Doucette. And last one is Makala Carney. Shout out. Any angry Derek? Has no chance to even see it. Didn't even realize it's been posted. Alright. Alessio Bucci, any new statues debut at Gamescom? How many PVCs will you bring to Gamescom? Will you bring PVC, Zelda, Luigi, and All Might? That's a lot of questions. So let's go through this one by one. The first one is... Yes. The first one is, any new statues debuting at Gamescom? Still not 100% decided, but it's more leaning yes. How many PVCs will you sell when you bring to Gamescom? I think we went through this last one. Was it RT? Crash? Link? Spyro? Solaire. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Will you bring PVC, Zelda, Luigi, and All Might? I mean, we'll certainly, you know, if everything goes smoothly, we should be at least showing them there. Obviously, not selling; they're not even in production yet. Oh, Martin Connie, I remember you telling me last year at Gamescom about the capturing about going to.
Really?
What?
No, I'm just answering. You know, when he visited.
Yeah, he was all about that. Yeah, he was really passionate about it. Him and his girlfriend, because they'd just been to Japan and fell in love with the place. So of course, you want to hang out in Yakuza land. Good. Is there any chance of getting us a life-size Ganon bust? And if you did, how much do you think it would be? Those are really difficult questions to answer. You know, the ability to be able to predict something price-wise is so difficult now, with prices just going crazy from the factories in the last couple of months, to be honest with you, before I'd be able to sort of have a sort of estimate before, but now I just you know, I have, how's the word, sort of trepidation when the prices come back, because they're so just out of whack and out of sync. It's just being pushed up by the factories. It's just Bridget Liang, how you doing? Michelle Kessel. Chocks.
Michelle?
Doesn't she get like 10 points every time?
Oh, do you have an update on the validation timeframes for AMI? It's not just AMI, it's also for Artorias bus. And I've noticed that some of you guys have been mentioning that in the comments section as well.
I agree. She says that if not, we deserve. You're welcome.
Yeah.
So an extra 1 mute. There you go. Michelle's has got you guys 10 extra reward points. How was that secret license meeting after last Q&A? Was it successful?
Oh, by the way, back to question 1. I've sent you a picture.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So the reality is, it is not. There's so much stuff that's keeping IT busy right now that is not really. We have to get through that stuff before we have chance to get to the, how do I say it, less pressing things, I would say. Stefan, are we confirmed for MCM London? We're not, are we?
I don't want to say 100% confirmed. We it's definitely on our minds. For sure, it's definitely on our minds. It's just waiting for responses and feedback before we before we cross that line. So if it's confirmed, we'll let you know. Because last year you woke up super early to come and see us, and I know you're a busy man. He's like a workaholic. He's constantly working and he's looking after his snakes and all that stuff. So yeah, love to see you again this year. So let's see. We're just waiting for some replies. That's all.
The new silhouette show looks promising. Do we get to see more of her in the future, or do you want to keep most of it a secret? I mean, it's already kind of obvious from the concept to the silhouettes. Yeah, of course we'll show some more later on. The B, any progress on the Rainbow Spyro PVCs? Sort of. I think we're going to do it when, I think we'll just make some limited quantity and just put them up later on. I'm not sure exactly. That's going to be on you to figure that out. The first thing was to find a factory that were willing to do such small quantities that we just do on a punt. Well, the current factory said they'll do it, but not in peak season, obviously. So when it's not peak season, we'll just bust out like 300 of each or something like that, and just.
We'll figure something out.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I think it should be quite easy to do.
Yeah. What stage of production is Green Player 2 Shovel Knight at? I think it's actually being done right now, and it was done at the same time, wasn't it? We just kind of held it back. I'm not 100% sure. John Costa. When is Sailor Moon Paratable being posted? Currently at 9854. Hit me up when it hits the big 900. Adam Elgma, will we be at NYCC this year? The answer is no. It is because we're doing MCM, hopefully London, because it was too much of a good deal to ignore the fact that EGX and MCM were sequential weekends. So I look at it as buy one get one free to a certain extent.
Yeah, we'll let you know, Stefan. So I'm not sure how quickly the tickets are sold out, but hopefully we don't have to, because he said he'll hold off buying tickets until we confirm.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Are they already up for sale already? Yeah. Guess so. Yeah.
As soon as we know, we'll let you know. Second question, is it?
Yes. With all these great Yakuza updates going on, any idea when you'll be up for pre-order? Sometime this year or early next year. I think early next year is probably a better bet. That's all for this week. Have a great weekend. Much love and appreciation for the hard work behind the scenes. Hopefully next week be a nice smooth reservation day. See you next week. Peace. Much appreciated. As always, Adam. Much appreciated.
There you go, Justina.
James B. Are you happy with the response to the TF lines, especially Sonic? I mean, the PVC TFs are our absolute... super excited about those because of what it potentially brings. So... that's great. In terms of the Sonic PVCs, I mean, it's... I'm not really sure. Kind of... there hasn't been that much response on it, I would say. I mean, it was ACG, so possibly not the... We'll be interested to see what people think about it.
It was also at Emerald City as well, right?
Yes, which was good responses to that, and it was the unpainted version. So we'll have to see how that goes when we're at somewhere like Gamescom, when there's more people that might recognize Sonic. So we'll see how that goes. I guess. I mean, the thing is, I wasn't at ACG, but Trouble said that.
Yeah, I think it just needs more attention.
Right.
Just but over time it was like growing on people, and they were like, oh wow, cool, awesome, love it. And then I was like, the exclusive one does this and that, and they'll be like, oh yeah,
cool.
They want it. Yeah. I mean, I would say it's positive. We've got a lot of stuff in the works with regards to Sonic, so the future is positive. Thanks, Kevin. What's up? Oh. It's one of those moments where you get a special email, guys, and everything stops. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. All right, fist bump then. Yeah, but what does it mean for me?
Sorry, that's not really on the top. The top thing of what I'm thinking about is what that means for you.
Hold on,
Hopefully, it means that it goes from Project 50 to Project 5000. Is what I think it's supposed to mean, right?
Where's my reply? Where's my reply? What's that?
Oh, I see. That's what you're talking. I see. Alrighty. Daniel, what about King DDD? We'll kill for a statue. The only thing I can buy is an amiibo. Didn't we do a poll for him?
DDD? I think we did. Did we not?
Maybe.
Official TT poll, was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Really? The D. No, we didn't.
Chocks, over to you.
We didn't.
I think it was part of like a character poll for... Yeah. Next question's for you.
From Cedric?
Yep.
Is it a positive one? Chalks, I have a very important mission for you. Please, bitch slap Alex. Let me explain why. I read in the Beats last week recap that Alex said Guts Bust could be interesting. No, it will be interesting. And super mega ultra awesome. Can we have that bust already? So what does it say? Guts Bust could be interesting.
Bitch slapping off stream, please. That's my only request. Michael Fee, will we be at a Gamescom last year? Possibilities to order figures where pre-orders already closed and skip waitlist. Michael, since last year we haven't really been doing that waitlist thing anymore, so most of the stuff won't be on waitlist anyway, so you'll be able to order it. Is that so? We're not doing those pre-order packs anymore. It was so difficult to kind of explain that, wasn't it, Chokes? Especially people who've never heard of us before, they don't get it, right? So. Yeah. Daniel needs some more points for Ornstein SD, Nito, and the Solid Snake bus. Nice. Liam O'Brien. Now that Ninja has left Twitch to go to Mixer, how long until you add Mixer to the stream list? Has anyone been to that? Is that is that something that
No.
What is Mixer? I guess it's another Twitch, is it?
It's another, yeah. Liam is so with the times. Do you follow Ninja as well?
Ninja, Fortnite star, leaps from Twitch to Mixer.
I don't know. I think we did do a Abe's Odyssey TT.
Yeah, we did actually.
Yeah.
Oh, Mixer's a Microsoft thing, is it? He's quitting Twitch, the Amazon service, where he has over 40 million subscribers. Yes, it's a big deal.
It's basically Twitch, except Microsoft owns it. It's just another different streaming platform. What kind of incentives like involved?
Interesting.
More earnings?
Yeah, I'm sure they would have done some sort of deal. I mean, I'm assuming. Florence Trask, is there a long... If there's a long period between when you acquire a license, when you announce a license, is that because the license approval takes some time? Yeah, I mean, sometimes the development of things, it's not about the license or approval, but our own creativity, and we're not happy with it, and we start over. It's not uncommon for us to start all over again if we're not happy with it. In particular, I'm thinking about your MHA license, which you had many months between the two. We announced the MHA on Christmas, and then we showed our first product at ECC. So there are some other things that we've announced that we haven't shown anything on yet. So that's a mistake. Let's say, Bucci, what's the difference between resin and PU? PU is a bit more, slightly more lightweight, but more durable, less prone to breakage. It's also incredibly more expensive. Kevin Da Fonseca.
The guys said they can't hear you.
What?
Turn up the volume. Turn up the stream volume. You might have done something. No? Anyone?
Extremely quiet.
No?
Hold on. Turn that up there.
Better? 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 Hear me? Hear me?
It's very quiet this week. Bring it a little bit closer. Can you see the comments? If I bring that over there.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see.
You can see it like that, yeah?
Hello? You.
I
I can hear you, but I'm not listening to you.
All right. Okay, you find the...
What's that? What?
Kevin Da Fonseca. Hey guys, can we expect a visual of Skull Knight? Yep. Or when? Soonish. Almost. Tom Brockman. What are your thoughts on the Toy Ways posting of the Zelda PVC order? Not good. I think has it been removed? I'm not sure.
Talk about efficiency, yeah.
Any updates on Rider Link or the Year of Zelda? Yeah, the Year of Zelda starts at the end of the year. And I need updates on Rider Link. Yeah, it's looking it's coming along. Sarah Arrington. Will the next decade start with a squishy fabric game design? With the next decade? Possibly start. It's definitely going to be in the next decade. In regards to side characters, which may not have quite as much interest as the main, would you make sense to run smaller runs at slightly increased price? Absolutely. And that's something that I want to really develop, which is the idea of...
See you in a bit, Vicky.
See you in a bit, Vicky.
See you in an hour.
I really want to develop it so that we can...
Developing what?
Have a...
Side characters?
Yeah, no, it's just doing things... No, not just
What
side
are you talking
characters.
about?
Every kind of... Every launch that we do, I want to do it where the first 500 people, for example, right? It's at a higher price point,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
And the first 500 it's a higher price point, right? Then if the website hits 500 units, let's say for argument's sake it's $100, right? For the first 500 people, the SRP is yeah. Say it's let's try something a bit more relatable. Let's say, for example, the SRP on something, it should be let's say 500, right? But because we don't know how it's gonna do, it's a niche character or whatever it may be, we say actually the price is, let's say, 550, right? And people know, look, hey guys, the price should be 500, but we don't know if there's enough support for this character, so therefore it needs to be 550 in the event that we don't sell very many. So those that are more hardcore, for the first, say, 500 or whatever, I think, okay, or whatever it is, they pay 550, and if it hits 500 units, the price goes down to 500. That's a really bad example because I shouldn't use the 500s all the time. So let's start this again. The price is 550 for the first 300 people. Just randomly taking some numbers here, right? And because it's a niche character, for the first 300 units, it's 550. Maybe it's, say it's $600, whatever it is, right? Then if we hit 300 units, the price goes down to 500, which is what it should have been. But because we didn't get the bold gold bars, it was originally started at a higher price. So once it hits the gold bars, which is, let's say it's in this example is 300, it goes from 600 down to 500. And maybe even possibly, like, let's say that it then hits 600 units or 800 units, it goes from 500 units down to $500 to like 450. I'm just throwing some examples out there. Then we would have to give something to the early adopters. Maybe it's just, nothing too crazy, right? Obviously, something like I don't know, like a coin or whatever it may be, or something to recognize that. Maybe even some reward points, whatever it is, right? And of course, their price would go down to match whatever the final price is. And that way it gives us confidence to explore more niche characters, because we know that we're not pricing it at a point that no one is gonna, I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it needs to be explained in a very simplified format. You can what it is currently and what it can be at the next tier.
Stretch goal pricing. Yeah, it's kind of like the Kickstarter idea we had before was kind of similar.
Yeah, so you know what you're unlocking at the next stage, and everyone's kind of trying to aim for that.
Right. Have you done anything with the new Dante? Oh, design the concept. That's a good point. The MGS ST, if you did an ST Mantis, would it have a little objects floating in the air like the resin version? With the STs, you kind of, or PVCs in general, you kind of got to tone down the base a little bit, if that makes sense, because it's quite price sensitive. Little chibi update. Yes, come up with some great concepts now that I've pretty much approved. It looks awesome. Edgar Ramirez. How many anime statues expect to go up for PO by the end of the year? 1 or 2, perhaps. Will the Shovel Knight line continue with Plague, given that the variants pieces have been selling decently? I would like to explore possibly some rotos of Shovel Knight, just sort of see how that might go. Something to think about. Anime lines matter. You're a big anime fan, I know for sure. Is the Yu-Gi-Oh line limited to monsters or are characters included? Not going to do it in 1/4. Going to do it in 1/6. And are they limited to monsters or characters included? Right now we're concentrating on those that topped in the poll, but if the demand is there, we'll keep on going. Alexander Rochnich, how about statues from retro?
Sorry, something is just on my mind, like this morning, and then when we're talking about the website, why don't we put because was it Edgar was talking about anime,
right?
We've got an anime section on the website, right?
Yeah.
Why don't we stick the stuff that we announce on there as well, and just put and just have just have a blank page and say coming soon.
Huh.
Right? We've announced My Hero, right? Why don't we just put that on the title there?
It's a good idea. That's been in your mind for how long? Since My Hero announcement, that's 8 months, mate.
But sometimes you need a bit of reminder.
Yeah, indeed. Like Michelle reminds you about the stream every week.
Yeah, I remind somebody else to do it.
That's true. And then they remind us to give the
me
points.
to remind somebody else.
Yeah, you get the mute points. You should gain game brands that are blank. Oh, right, okay, Daniel. All right, yeah, we definitely need to, all the categories and all that sort of stuff. It's definitely something we need to look into. Alexander Rochnich, how about statues from retro gems like Koldelka? What the hell is Koldelka? Have you heard of that?
What?
Koldelka.
Uh-uh.
Never heard of that one. Deus Ex.
Yeah. Dino Crisis.
Dino Crisis. I know Dino Crisis. I know Deus Ex. Primal. What's Primal? Sounds like Turok.
Primal. Yeah. You not heard of Primal?
No. Never heard of Koldelka.
Yeah, me neither.
Wow. That looks like Silent Hill.
Primal's, what do you call it?
And also, what was the last one? Beyond Good and Evil. I love me some Beyond Good and Evil.
Good book.
I've never heard of that.
No?
What was that game that was done by the guy Starbreeze, and it was like in a horror story, kind of like Edgar Allan Poe or Cthulhu kind of style, sort of Victorian nightmare, kind of Bloodborne-esque kind of thingy bob. I'm pretty sure it was Starbreeze. Oh, it's a SNK game, is it? Doesn't look, you know, as I always think. SNK always for me was always like side-scrolling. That it was very 3D. What on earth is a non-hashtag? Oh, Zoe said like one from Primal. That's interesting. Also, the FF logo at the top still has white background. Edgar Ramirez, what you need to hold down is Control and then F5, and then it will clear your cache, and you'll see.
Don't clear your cache.
And you'll see that. Rotos, Edgar, is a type of material that is more like urban vinyl, where it's a kind of plastic or vinyl to it. So it's I think it would be a perfect thing for Shovel Knight. Does anyone know what that game is? Oh no, look it up. That code vein looks awesome, right? Alright, so what is it? Starbreeze games. Let's see if we can find it. See if anybody knows what it is. Is it Enclave? No, it doesn't sound like that's the one.
No, not Enclave.
It's not. I might have been mistaking it. It's not them who made it.
Syndicate?
Nah, it's not Syndicate. Oh no, this just they like Syndicate. I was thinking Enclave, but it's not Enclave. There's another game that I'm thinking of. It's not. It was like kind of like a horror-esque Cthulhu, Edgar Allan Poe. What is the game? It's kind of. It's not Starbreeze. It's definitely not this game. Bloody hell! What's it called? That's gonna annoy me. Yeah, it's a third-person game. It's a third-person game. Darkest Dungeon? No, it doesn't make sense. Eternal Darkness. Is it Eternal Darkness?
Eternal Darkness. Maybe it could be.
No. No. And you could be like different characters, like different kind of RPG characters, like the Hunter or the something like that. It's an old game, maybe at least 15, 20 years ago, I would say.
No idea.
How do I don't know about Primal? I don't know these ones. Justin Arin, I remember you saying that you would love to do a line for Fatal Frame Project Zero. The Sunday Fun is nearly 200 reactions. Can we get a TT? Jocks, did we do a Fatal Frame one? Pretty sure we did, didn't we?
Might have. Has anyone heard of Siren?
PS1, 2, or 3? I'm thinking it's PS1.
Fidel. No.
No?
Don't
Alright,
think
so, okay.
What's the other one? What's the other one?
Project Zero. That is Fatal Frame, isn't it?
Yeah, but my bit Project
No.
Project D.
Nightmare Creatures. That might be it. Sounds something.
Up into initial D.
Creatures.
Oh, there was not even a TT for initial D.
Nightmare Creatures. Nightmare Creatures. Pretty sure this is it. That's the reason why he gets too much involved with Huda. He recognizes it all. Unbelievable. Nice one. Nice one. Elaine Kennedy, is Sonic Chopper still going to be this month? I think sometime in August, I believe. Isn't that right, Chocks? To start shipping? I believe so. Edgar Ramirez, how difficult would it be to have raised price system set up? I would be down for paying extra as long as it guarantees risky lines can continue. It's a great question. So yeah, I mean, that's definitely something when we have more, I mean, we're pushing to have more IT resources to get something like that in place. That would be awesome. Is it Clock Tower? No, it's not
3
Clock
minutes
Tower.
to go.
What's that game where he's like a homunculus and you keep choosing different time zones? Is it Clock Tower? Is that Clock Tower? No.
Monkey
Is it
game?
Clock Tower? No, like, is it Clock Tower? It's like a homunculus, and like if you change something, like the whole thing changes. Nah, it doesn't look like that.
Siren's the worst. What are you talking about?
Clock Towers looks like a point and click. That's not what I'm talking about. It's more like it was a 3D game, I think, and you were like walk around and you're like.
Can't be Clock Tower.
And then it was like if you did something about a homunculus. Shadow of Memories. 2 minutes to go.
Bugs Bunny lost in time.
Shadow Memories. It's like a time. Oh, hold on. This might be it. Shadow Memories?
2 minutes.
Shadow of Destiny is probably what I know it as. Is this the game?
What the hell?
This might be it. Yeah, I see some sort of jewel there. Yeah, I need to look that up. Yeah, oh my god. Nice one. Alright, here we go. 1 minute and 30 seconds before we start doing the reveal of the Purple Boy Spyro. Everything Spyro related kicking off very, very soon. Whew, it's been a while since we've done a Spyro product.
Oh,
No, it hasn't. It's been so many Spyros.
157. Like over
What?
150.
What? It's not been updated here. It says 136 here.
I don't know. 150 something on stream. Nobody mentioned it.
Oh, it's like that now, is it?
It's like that now, isn't it?
Wonder why one of that is.
Under a minute.
There we go. Isn't this like the 51st Spyro product? Euro shoulder.
It's the 50th, 52nd.
Indeedy. Oh, now it's gone. Now that it knows that we were looking at it, it turned up to 153 because it knows that we were looking at it. First for Spyro, I call you now. Well, you wait until we do some more Okami, then we'll be first for Wolves. MAD, so many Spyro projects have been made since I'm here, but it's okay, the Purple Boy sounds like hotcakes. So, it is time, Chocks. Thank you very much for waiting whilst we've been going through the weekend review, the recap. Now it's all about Spyro details. Whew. I always get a bit nervous, Chocks, when we do the first launch, and the reason why is because...
Because what?
It's the work that we've been working on behind the scenes for such a long time, and then it's not like... You know, what we used to do, Chocks, is you used to sort of bring it out slowly but surely, right? And, I kind of miss that. What we do that, but the reality is we're doing more and more conventions. It's happening more and more, right, Chocks? I mean, it happened originally with Mario and Yoshi. We never brought out Mario and Yoshi, right? Because we took that to ECCC. Well, Spyro is on his way to Gamescom.
Mhm.
So therefore, again, we don't have him here. And that's what we kind of, as this becomes more and more the norm, it means that we are doing more, what's the word? It just means that we are doing the reveal like this. And the reveal that we do here, the con is, of course, it's boom, there it is, straight away. There's no like teasing and bringing it up and sort of showing the sort of size. I mean, yeah, you can see the size and all that sort of stuff. And it's sort of, so
We need to make more samples. That's one way of fixing it. Especially with more cons. Spyro there, Spyro there, Spyro there, Spyro there. Or it could be like, is it Disney style? Like at any given time, there's only one Mickey Mouse. Is it true?
What?
Yeah.
What?
I'm not sure. Is it true? Like Disney World, Disneyland, at any one time, at any one point, yeah, like there's only one character. Like.
So you mean the one in Hong Kong goes to the toilet, and then the one in Florida comes out?
Yeah, it's like a teleport. So,
the toilet is a teleport. Yeah.
Yeah. So. If
Are you serious?
Yeah. I'm not. Is it true or not? Or is it just some BS?
Hey, apparently there are 50. Let me just check how many people are on.
It's magic time.
That's pretty decent. Whether or not there are.
Spyro.
Everyone's getting on with it, yeah.
Yeah, get on with it. Spyro.
54 people on. 54 on YouTube. So you have to get another person on YouTube
Why?
because it's got 54.
Okay.
All right, because it's still stuck over here on 50. 51.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So, how do I? So as I say, it really is. I saw Mickey twice in Florida in two places, different clothes at Disney World. Okay, so it is time to reveal Spyro Reignited Resin. We will be going through all the details right after this, and we hope you like what you see. And it's been a lot of it's been a great project for us. We really enjoyed making it. It's been quite fun. We go through all the details of the reason why we designed the way we did. So I guess there's anything to say before we start the video?
See you after the documentary.
There's about 55 minutes, so relax, kick back, enjoy as we go through all of that. So after that, we'll then show the teasers trailer, and then we'll talk about the pricing and the time and all that sort of good stuff. All right.
Don't worry, guys. We'll see you very, very soon.
Alrighty.
Let's do it.
I always feel nervous, Chocks. God. Very nervous. Very
nervous on validation. Not now.
True. All right then. So let's do this. So I'm gonna turn it on. That's the documentary right there. There you go. It's on the screen. And then I turn this over here. You can see my mouse. I got to turn on the desktop notification. I've got to make sure that all my. Let me just turn off. Oh, this is a bit embarrassing. I got to turn off all the. Turn off Skype.
This is the commentary version. Is this?
Right.
So we put a lot of thoughts on the title. The reason why we have two.
Yeah. All right then. Okay. All right, guys. We'll see you on the other side. We hope you like what you see.
So we put a lot of thoughts on the title. The reason why.
Yeah. All right then. Okay. All right, guys.
What is
we'll
up,
see you on the
guys?
other side. We
This
hope
is
you
Alex
like
from
what you
First
see.
Vegas.
Hey there, everyone. This is CHOCKS.
Who do we have here? Spyro Reignited Spyro! Hey! Chocks, it's been not too long since we've been, this is a pretty straightforward piece. We've had a bit of experience in the Spyro franchise, so we knew what we were going to be doing from the beginning. So it's not been too long in development, so I'm happy to say it's quite a smooth straightforward piece. But we're going to get into all of that, right, Chocks? Because this is all about the making of documentary series where we talk a little bit about the beginning, some of the design choices, some of the design difficulties you would have had, and really sort of explain a little bit more about what that's all about. So, tell me a bit about some of the design choices.
Sure. I mean, as you said, this is a continuation of our Spyro franchise.
Right. A little bit more about
If you're a big fan of ours, you've been following us for a while, you know that this is based off the Spyro Reignited version. This is a continuation of our Spyro franchise.
Right.
And so if you first time watching this video, please make Reignited version. This is a continuation of our franchise.
Can you hear us double? 1 second, guys.
Yeah, so if you first time watching this video, please make the United version.
Can you hear us? Can they hear us?
Yeah, so if you first time watching this video, please make the United version.
Turn that off. Okay, 1 second, guys. We should be back into it. Sorry about that.
Make sure to join our First and Figures Official Collectors Club on Facebook. In there, every time we do a launch, we will make a post asking you guys for questions with regards to this particular product. And yeah, so here we are. So please enjoy.
So we got some questions then, do we?
Yeah, we
Well,
have.
before you get on with that,
Questions,
Chocks, let's give this bad boy, or the goodest boy, the goodest purple boy, a spin as we're chatting away.
All right. Okay, so I have, there's a back-to-back question here, right? From,
Okay.
So one from Stefan and another one from Brendan Rostello. So first one, Stefan McNally. Overall, how pleased are you with the pose? And Brendan Rostello, what new challenges arose based on the reignited design that you did not have to worry about for the original resin?
Okay, it's quite.
I know.
These questions are actually really great for us to really talk a little bit more about the pose itself and talk about some of the engineering aspects of that and how it compares to the original Spyro as well, to really talk about that.
When you referring to the original, you mean the classic Spyro? Okay?
That's correct, right? So we made our original Spyro product was an original series Spyro, so that's actually before the reignited trilogy was even a thing. It wasn't even announced. It was something that we took from the original Spyro game way back when, and based it off of the first cover. And let's get Tingo, please do an overlay so people know what we're talking about for that particular piece. And we'll do a comparison shot of that a little later on. But what's quite interesting is, Stefan says, how pleased are you with the pose? Well, look, one of the things that we really had to consider was the fact it's a challenge that we have with whenever we do animals, dragons, anything that's not humanoid. When you see something like that from the front on, directly front on, what you're going to see is almost like the silhouette from the front, which is usually it's the front 2 feet and the head. If it's, let's say, in a wolf, right, something like that, you're going to see the front 2 feet and the head directly straight on. And you really don't see what you see from the side when you look at animals, which is all 4 feet, assuming it's it's got 4 legs. All 4 feet, the length of the body, the tail, all that good stuff. You really don't see that directly from the front. And I wouldn't say it's a problem, but it's certainly something that when we did the original OG resin of the Spyro from way back when, it was based specifically on a cover. And when it's based on a cover, we're very loyal to the fact that we were going for it to be a representation of the front cover of the original Spyro game. So we knew that we had to make our original Spyro exactly like the front cover. And again, please do some overlays here of how we took the original cover of Spyro, the original Spyro game, and did our statue. And really that's what was our goal, and that was what we were going for that particular piece. Now, with this one, Chocks, we did not have that restriction whatsoever. And it meant that we could really be a little bit more creative, or not, have that creative freedom to really explore some designs and some other things that we would want to do when we're not having to have a forced angle. So if we actually just stop it right here, it's a good timing. This is the quote-unquote front or money shot of this particular piece, that it was designed that most people will display their Spyro reignited resin in this angle. So what is it that you notice from this, Chocks, when it's angled like this, that is kind of different from what I talked a little bit earlier about from the front? What are the differences that you see from here?
From obviously when you said the original one is all pretty much on the ground, static. You see the front. Most of the shot is from the front. And this one is more dynamic. You see the full body going across, as in like it's a side view.
Exactly, right. So it's a key point is that it's both the side and a front view for the head. The head is angled in such a way that it's not perfectly front, but the eyes themselves they're not looking straight, which sometimes can be a little bit dead-eyed. sort of almost neutral looking like that. We wanted to give a bit of life to them by, and this is both Sparks and Spyro here, slightly turning the eyes of Spyro. So yes, this is a perfectly front-on shot of the head, like that, right? That is a perfectly front-on shot of the head, but the eyes themselves are off to the left from this angle, right? Right on the screen, it's off to the left himself. So the actual money shot with him actually looking directly into the camera is Komsa, like this. Okay, so that was because we wanted to inject a bit of life into the character himself. Remember when we were designing this, we really thought about how is it that we would have the money shot where he's looking into the camera, but also, Chocks, that we don't have to fall into the same trap, or should I just say, the same requirements that we had of the original Spyro resin, which was, it was really about focusing on the way it looked from the front cover, and we didn't have any kind of freedom to deviate from that goal. Whereas, as I said, we didn't have that restriction here. It allowed for us to, show an animal, dragon, the way that you kind of associate the four-legged characters, where they have the side view. You can really kind of, it's mainly like, for example, if you took a silhouette and you blacked it out and you did it from the front on of an animal, you would almost think it had just two legs. Kind of be quite weird. Look, two legs, a chest, and a head. It looked very, very strange when you look directly from the front.
It's flat.
Exactly. Now, if you took it from the side, you're most likely to recognize the shape of a dog, a wolf, a dragon from the side. Because, oh look, it's got 4 feet, boom, 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 and the way it's shaped, it's got a tail, all that sort of stuff you can really see from the silhouette from the side. So we wanted to really have that silhouette when it came to this piece. If you recall, when we were going through this design, we went through a lot of the choices of what we could do with regards to the pose. Actually, Chocks, I want to sort of back up a bit and talk a little bit about as we'll continue talking about this. So I want to back up a bit because you remember, Chocks, we were absolutely honored to be working with Activision right at the time that the actual game was launched for the original Spyro Reignited trilogy, which means that we were working on this piece quite a bit earlier, Chocks. We were working on it and we got assets for it way before it was announced, right? And we were very privileged to do that. And one of the things we also got, we got sort of footage of beta or alpha footage of what it would look like, etc., etc. And another thing, Chocks, is we actually got the animation files. Do you remember that, Chocks? Yeah. So, how does he look when he's attacking? How does he look when he's breathing fire? How does it look when he's running
or flying? Yeah, or ramming into objects and all that stuff. Yeah.
And the key one you just said there is gliding or flying. That kind of use of the wings and all that sort of stuff. It really allowed for us to really imagine the possibility of a statue. Of course, at the very beginning, we were working on the PVC, right? So we went. But then when we came to the actual idea of actually doing a flying version, when it came to the idea of looking at a resin piece, when we re-examined all of the poses, and we went through each one again and again and again, we kept coming back. We kept coming back to the gliding, the flying, being a little bit more out there. And again, we talked about how do we create the silhouette for it to be more about it being on the side, so it's no longer that kind of front-on shot of an animal, but more about being able to see it from the side. So we kept coming back to the flying thing because it allowed for us to think about, hey, if you're flying and you're turning in an angle, imagine you're in a swimming pool, right, and you push off and you put your 2 hands forward like the Superman pose. So you do that, you actually go completely straight. Now if you put 1 hand forward, this way for example, and you push off, you'll actually start turning to the left. And likewise, if you do this, you start turning to the right. So when you actually think about that concept, where whatever's going out front is going to be the way that the sort of wind resistance, or in the case of the swimming, of course, of the water resistance, it kind of pushes you naturally in the turn that you're going. So with Spyro, it's almost like he's leaning his body. Can you see that, Chocks? How the way that we're demonstrating that he's in a turn. What is it about the sculpt that really highlights that it's turning in a sculpt? The sculpt is turning in in the flow of the pose. What do you notice from that, Chocks? How are we showing that?
Well, everything is kind of twisted to one side.
That's
for
right.
example, the obvious one right now is obviously the head, and you can see the neck, the way it turns into the angle, that the body follows through, and the way the legs and the arms are like twisted at a certain angle as well.
Exactly, it's about that angle, it's the tilt of the body. And I mean, you can't really see it from the top, but it's almost like, if you look from the top, it's like a banana shape, you say, Chocks, right? This part is at the front, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly right. And the twist in the head and the kind of flexing of the body, it's kind of curled, side curling, right? So that he's turning directly towards the left. The way that he's turning is, he's gliding towards the left. Now, that allowed for us to do the two key things, which was the money shot, which is with the eyes looking into you. So again, back to the money shot is here, Chocks, right? But also to be able to see from the side the silhouette of a dragon having 4 legs, etc., etc. And that is what we really kept coming back to when it came to just differentiating it from the original resin, where you're not having the straight on shot. And it was really important to us to be able to be a little bit more ambitious with the pose, to be able to see something that you don't often see. So, I mean, if you have a look at that, Chocks, you were absolutely right by saying the twisting of the body, the way the body is tilting towards the left. I mean, look at that. It's completely angled in that way to do a sharp.
It's much more obvious this way, the way it's kind of swinging outwards, gliding. You can see even with the angle as well. From here, it looks like it's just turning around, like twisting around, but from here, it looks like it's going upwards.
And one of the things, of course, is we need to make sure that a statue looks great from all angles. So that was a consideration as well, that even if you're not looking into the, this is a fantastic way to display him this way. I mean, this one really highlights the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, that like we say with the two-legged, four-legged thing, this is kind of like two-legged here.
Exactly right. So you don't see any of the tail. If people were going to, if we were going to just design it like this, forget about the rest of the back. You might as well just get rid of the tail, get rid of the rest of it, because no one can see it. And that is why we wanted to make sure that it made sense that people can appreciate it from all angles. And the shot that we, as you say, we deem the money shot, you can still see a hell of a lot of the statue itself. And that was really what we wanted to make sure that we captured in this pose. One other way for it to be tested, there's 2 other ways, Chocks, that we have that. You know, we said about the body itself and the way it's curling around, but also the way that you have the tilting of the wings. The tilt of the head is one thing, but also the wings itself. If you look from over here, Chocks, you see one up, one down, right? This one is up and this one is down, and it's kind of like if you ever see a bird swooping around, it kind of does this. Or even an aeroplane, Chocks, if you think about that, an aeroplane is going to start turning or banking, they do that, and that starts making him do that. Right? And that's what we sort of looked at and considered when we had the gliding. One last obvious one as well, Chocks. When we thought about how we're going to do any kind of flying pose, we're thinking, well, how are we going to actually have it suspended in the air? So we had a 2-part thing with these trails that come out along over here, right? It's a 2-part thing. The first one is the trail itself. They connect to the body in a way that it's like a boomerang as well, right? It's that, again, we come back to the whole idea of how do we give the feeling of rotating very quickly, doing a sharp bank. How do we have him turning around like this, right? Like almost like that, right? So this served 2 purposes. The first one is that it allowed for us to give the dynamic feeling that he's turning.
Yeah.
And the second one is, of course, it helped for us to get this amazing effect, Chocks, that he literally is in the air and suspended in the air like that. Now that is absolutely, and it really is, I think, it was great that we could use that
the kind of swoosh effect
to have a 2-part purpose. Suspend him in the air, and Sparks, of course, and then of course also consider the fact that he is turning and giving that motion of it as well. So, that really sort of goes a little bit more into the actual pose. And
the same goes with Sparks as well. They're all twisted like a boomerang shape for Sparks as well. and the way the wings are angled as well.
So again, you can see his head and you can see the end of his thorax or abdomen, I guess it would be.
Yeah.
You can see the tip of his tail from the front, which again was the same sort of principle that we were looking at when you looked at Spyro himself, and of course the tail and the way that was done like that. Now we worked really closely with Lusai on this project, and he did a fantastic job, Chocks, to really give that feeling of the turning itself. And when you consider the fact that they are turning, one more thing, Chocks, and that is, before we go into it, let's recap. Body turn, head turn, angling the angle of like this, the wings themselves, tilting it like this, and the swoosh effect having that. Well, if you take the logical feeling that they are near the water, we have here the base, and it's near the water itself, what you can see is the swoosh effect of this water is following the curve of the inspiration of the water effect is actually that the power of his glide is curving and carving up, the kind of affecting the water in a way that's kind of, do you know what I mean? Like it's like it's catching,
pushing them away.
Because it's right, almost like you could almost think of it like a rowboat or something, not a rowboat, like a speedboat or something. The way it kind of opens it up to give it a bit of a turn, so it's not straight, but actually it's kind of semi following the motion of the turn of the characters itself. So you can probably sort of see a little bit more where this is the front and the back of the curve is kind of over here. So it kind of curls around, following the same principle of the swoosh at the top and the whole body, all that sort of stuff like that. So those are the ways that we could really give that feeling, give that thought to the motion of it turning. So when it comes back to Brendan's question, what challenges arose based on the reignited design that you didn't have to worry about the original resin? Okay, well that's pretty straightforward. So the first one is, we knew that we had to worry about how can we show more of the statue itself than just the front. We've gone into that in depth. The second, of course, difficulty when you compare to the OG, the fact is we've been far more ambitious with the pose. It comes at a consideration, of course, is that we have to make sure that the engineering of this is done in a way that we have to, make sure it's going to be okay for years to come. And that's, of course, more challenging compared to the original resin, because they had 4 feet on the ground, etc., etc. It was all pretty straightforward. So we didn't have to worry too much about that. But this one, obviously, it's a consideration, so we had to make sure that that was okay. Okay?
Okay. All right, next question from Bart Clip and Alessio Gucci. So, question from Bart: how do you decide how detailed you want to have a statue? When is it detailed enough? And Alessio Gucci is it hard to paint a statue with an open mouth?
Okay. All right, so I think this is a great dual question that we can really talk about some of the details of this piece. So Bart Clip says, how do you decide how detailed you want to have a statue? Now, for something like that, Chocks, you have to really consider what kind of statue is this piece. Now, is it an anime statue? Is it something more realistic, like armors? Is it something that is a bit more cartoony? Is it something that is more realistic? What is it that you're trying to go for? Once you know what you're aiming for, you can really start considering how much detail is enough and which is appropriate for this piece. And it was quite interesting, Chocks, when we actually did this piece, we actually did a lot more detail on this originally, which was having the same kind of scales that we had in the original resin, right, of the original OG resin, right, of Spyro. If you look at that, there's a lot more skin textures and details on that. We actually did that for this piece, but we were told to actually dial it back because the actual details of this piece in the actual reignited version is a lot more smooth skinned, and therefore we removed all of that feeling directly on the actual sculpt itself. But because we didn't physically put it on the actual sculpt, as in we dialed it back, what can you see from the actual skin itself? I mean, we're going to go top to bottom in a minute, but what is it particularly that you see about the skin itself? It's not just a solid purple, is it, Chocks?
No, I mean, first of all, the scope wise is much simplified than, say, the original Spyro, as you would expect from the Reignited game. If you picked up one of our PVC versions of the Spyro Reignited one, you can understand that they share the same type of scale, as in like the much more simplified lumps on the back. It's much more obvious to see the scales.
Right.
Yeah, and like it might look really simple here with this, like you might think it's just one shade of purple, but it's not. There's like you might have one single base, a purple base, but on top of that you can see like tiny little specks of like sprayed out purple that's spread across all the entire throughout the entire body. And then these individual scales, it's more kind of protruding, right? Sticking out. They all have different levels of height when it comes to these scales. And yeah, I mean, these are more of a darker shade of purple, but the actual entire body is all, you can see like tiny little specks of darker purple dots.
That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. And of course, that's just on the flat areas of the skin. And of course, each one, in the actual sculpt itself, Chocks, these are all raised, all of these kind of sort of circle, effects along here. They're all raised, and as you said, with the spine as well. And it really means that it has a 3D depth to it.
Yeah. And adding the shading as well around, like for example, the spine parts, the part where it attaches to the skin itself is much more darker, and it kind of goes into a lighter shade of purple towards the edge.
So it's certainly not all one color.
It's not one color. It's like, I remember, our PVC is pretty much one color, isn't it?
That's right.
The actual scales themselves, it's like a flat purple, then a darker purple, and then we just added some gloss on top of it, right? I understand.
Yeah, for the actual,
for these painted ones, it has a lot more variations.
It's got more subtlety when it comes to the dots.
Yeah.
That's something that the other ones didn't have.
Right, that's right.
All right, Chocks. So again, back to Bart's question, how much detail do you want to have with a statue? Well, when do you know when to stop? But the answer really is, it depends what we're trying to do. And then actually for this one, we went over and we were asked to dial it back. But it doesn't mean, and that was just specifically for the purple area. There's tons of detail everywhere else though, isn't there, Chocks?
Yeah.
So do you want to go through the top to bottom while we're here?
Let's focus on the kind of bright yellow orangey parts. I mean, first of all, the horns.
Yeah.
It kind of has that kind of honeycomb bee color, right? Like that kind of beehive color. The yellows and yellows.
Fancy crunchy now.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. So I'm just trying to figure this, like compare this to the PVCs that we had, and this one has a lot more textures around it, and like this still has the kind of like scuff marks that's carried over from the PVC.
That's right.
As well. So these horns have been through some rough patches. You can see all the scars, and then each individual line has some depth as well. So along this horn, you can actually feel the bumps and the ridges that goes around it, all around the actual horn itself.
That's right.
Yeah, and then you have the textures. So it's not, I won't go overboard with the texture right here, but you can see that it has a little subtle texture. So the horn textures and the mohawk textures are different.
Yeah, the mohawk's much more of a leathery kind of a feeling, which is the same kind of leather effect that's on the wings. So if you look at the actual oranges of the wings, so it's a really good example of using it goes throughout the entirety of this piece. So the horn is more like a bone and this is more like a leather. Yeah. Okay, so if you look at the ridges of the wings, along the spine of the wings, it's more of the horn styling, right? The horn kind of bumpy effect,
the bony effect.
Yeah,
right?
the bony effect. So and then the wings itself, the more orangey area, that's much more the leather mohawk kind of thing.
Yeah. You can see like all the kind of like lines, the crack lines.
That's right.
The webbing lines or whatever you call it.
Yeah, leather kind of, And that's also, again, if you look at the going down the chest area, again, that's
more of the bony texture, right?
Exactly right.
That's right. So that goes all the way from the top of the neck here, all the way to the back of the tail.
That's right, yeah.
Or in sculpture, you can feel the actual kind of like overlaying of each kind of
Section.
section. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And then you have the tip of the tail, kind of like a cone effect, swirls around.
Accurately sculpted because we were fortunate to be working with the original files as well, so we could, yeah. So let's have a little look at before we go into the other parts. Let's just quickly talk about the mouth because I think it was Alessio Bucci. Is it hard to paint a statue with an open mouth? I mean, definitely. I mean, hard is maybe not hard, but it's certainly more of a process. For example, the mouth itself, the teeth are separate pieces that we had to do the bottom and the top in order to separately cast them and then fit them in order to get that open mouth effect. And also, there's no way to paint inside unless you remove the teeth. So you remove the teeth, you paint inside, you paint the tongue, and then you insert the teeth themselves, and then you have to add more effects such as the gloss in there. Can you see the differences in gloss for that? So all of that has to be considered when we're doing an open mouth piece.
To get that, because separate pieces give it that kind of clean look.
That's right. So Chocks, what I want to say also is the eyes themselves. It's not just. Have a look at the actual eyes themselves. What do you see? It's not just one flat color, is it, Chocks?
No, definitely not. This is looking just as nice as the PVC version as well. I mean, the different shades of eyes, gradients from like kind of a darker. Starts off with the black outline, kind of a dark black wash over like the same dark, deep purplish color. Then it goes into kind of a
lighter kind of
magento kind of color. Yeah, that goes all the way down. Yeah, it's very nice.
And it's also got a little bit of gloss, so it's different from the purple of the skin, but it's a little bit more shiny. And we took that shine also to put it for the teeth as well, just to be a little bit more, close to what you would expect. A bit of shine on the teeth, the tongue, and the eyes in particular are ones that we wanted to sort of pay attention to. The nostrils, of course, Chocks, is that kind of trademark, almost like a comma, or two sides of a quotation mark, if you know what I mean, right? Those are added to the nose themselves, and it's as it would be expected for Spyro himself. So should we talk a little bit about Sparks now?
Yeah, so Sparks, very nice size compared to the PVC one. Yeah,
he's a big piece.
Definitely a big piece. So you can see a lot more detail here. You can see how chunky the wings are. I mean, from above, you can see these are 4 individual wings,
and it's got this kind of detailing to it, which we got that kind of right with the actual PVC itself, and you could see how it has that kind of buzzing effect.
And then with the lines, these are individually sculpted lines. It's kind of like imagine like a seashell. It has that kind of shell kind of feeling towards.
That's right.
The actual strands, each line that goes from the inner bit.
Those ridges. Now, one of the things, Chocks, is some people were a little bit. How do I say it? They were kind of a bit. Wasn't quite sure why is it that Sparks had buzzing wings on the PVC.
Right.
So Ting and Enoch, please put an overlay of the PVC version, the exclusive version, which has Sparks on it, because they're stationary.
Sure.
But here, there's going to be no question about it. It made sense that there was some buzzing in the wings for Sparks himself, because that's what's keeping up. He's a dragonfly, and he keeps constantly buzzing as he's flying around. Now with dragons, it's much more like a bird. Flap, 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 glide. Flap, 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 glide. So it made sense to have this buzzing for the wings of Sparks, and it makes sense for also to be a gliding effect for Spyro himself. Yeah, absolutely. Now, how do we give that motion again, Chocks? We didn't really talk about it in the pose section, but you can see that the feet aren't just all down. They have this kind of angle back, like we have the angle back of the feet here of Spyro, or Sparks as well. They kind of angle backwards to give the kind of more forward motion.
All 6 legs are pulled back.
That's right. And how about the actual paintwork on him, and the eyes and the teeth, and how that's working on that?
Yeah, definitely. You can see he's kind of a slight open mouth as well. So it has upper teeth and lower teeth. Glossy paintwork on those, and then the eyes. You can see the pupils
kind of again, it's more of a darker, deeper red, moving into kind of a pinkish color for the eyes. The shape of the eyes is really nice as well. It's kind of circular, popping out as you expect.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Spyro's eyes still has a little bit of 3D effect that kind of curves outwards, but this for Sparks it's quite obvious. It's kind of a ball-shaped eye.
Yeah, you can see it from the side, can't
Yeah,
you?
it's like popping out.
And you can see the sort of the edges of the mouth shape, right? So the way it comes out.
And then the body, the entire body, different shades of yellows and orange. Again, that goes throughout. Not as much texture compared to Spyro, because the majority of Sparks' body is going to be kind of a shell-like. So it's much more smoother, but you can still see the ridges between each line. It's very, how to put it? As you would expect, it's kind of like how crabs and like prawns are like, the way they connect to each other.
Right.
Yeah.
Sort of very separated.
Yeah. And then those toenails.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very. What's the colour? It's not green. It's more
like a turquoise kind of,
yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, Chock. So we really looked at some of the details that we can see. I mean, there was a lot of more details that we've not covered. Just the texture overall, the paint, the way the fingers are, they're all nicely separated, each one. You can see that they're not clumped together.
Yeah.
Nicely open up, and the fingernails themselves, they have a little bit more gloss on the fingernails as well. These are the sort of things that we were quite fortunate to really knowing what we were going to do based on the Spyro PVC. So we knew kind of what we was going to be doing for that. Now, let's talk a little bit about the base itself. Now, we talked a little bit about the reasoning why it's curving, but let's talk about the actual details themselves.
Yeah, so again, the waves, you can see how, as we were saying, so you can see the split between like this part here in the back, the split here, the split of the waves that goes outwards because of the movement and the kind of the power through of Spyro going through that. That's affecting the waves, and then the waves that gets open up, they get brushed aside. So the flow, the continuity of the waves that comes across to the sides, and then crashing into the actual crystals themselves. So once they crash into the crystals, the water kind of like bounces back off the crystal. So you can see that effect on this little crystal here on the edge, and a little bit more. Well, actually, that goes along the back through the inner side of the crystals. It's going to be quite hard to see.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can see it kind of goes through, and you can see it. You can almost see the purple underneath the blue.
Yeah.
So it's kind of deep inside. I'm not sure if that's going to pick up on the camera. Maybe
It's quite hard. But at least you can see the translucent of the crystal. See from the back there.
definitely. And then I say you can, because there's kind of the blue translucent of the actual waves, which has this beautiful blue into white effect, which you can kind of think about for.
So, like for example, you have this on a shelf, and then let's say on the back of the shelf you have some lights, let's say some bright white lights, or some even purple or blue lights. That's going to really pick up from the front. You can see the light shining through the actual crystals as well as the waves themselves.
That's right.
Yeah. And then the swoosh effect is more of a kind of a
bit more opaque.
Yeah, a bit more of a matte color as well. It has, you know, some whites and blues as they glide through the sky.
Yeah. Now, Chocks, let's talk about the elephant in the room. You know and I know this, but we actually remade these crystals. Now these crystals, we haven't really talked about this too much, right? The crystals themselves are, how do I say it? The actual base and the inspiration of the base, we don't really talk about that either, is he's flying through, through the world, and he goes along the cliff, and he goes around, he flies around the cliff itself. And there are lots of different types of crystals. So there's blue ones, green ones, and purple ones like this. Now, this is quite interesting, Chocks, because at the point that we developed this piece, remember we did this before the game came out, and we based it off of information we had at the time, every single one of these was incredibly polygonal. And it was almost like perfect, like, it was like a rectangle, and boom, and like a rectangle, boom, 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 boom. And that's what we did. Every single one of these was all rectangular, Chocks. All of it was perfectly rectangular. And what you don't see, you see I mean, how does it look now, Chocks? You can see it has one edge here, one edge here, one edge here, and it's not one perfectly shaped line and perfectly 90-degree angles on it, right? It's much more, I mean, I'm sure it's picking up on it.
It's not like sharp crystals, like clear-cut crystals that you would expect back in the PlayStation days, right? It's all polygonal, triangle, and all that stuff. It's all sharp, and this one's kind of like, because it's the remastered version. It's like it's been molded, right?
It's a bit more natural, I would say, yeah. Whereas the other ones are like a jeweler's cut them, if that makes more sense, right? That kind of feeling, right? Except for Chocks, well, we made this originally. All the crystals were absolutely like it was back in the day of the PlayStation, where they're very, as we just said, the jeweler cut and very, very sharp, hard edges, and it was like boom, boom, boom. We didn't realize until afterwards that was because we were looking at pre-alpha footage.
That was before they started adding all the.
So that's quite interesting, right? So we developed it, and we then produced it, and we made it, and then the actual game came out, or it was we were painting, and we went, oh wait a sec, something's gone wrong. So we looked at our original footage, and we looked at the subsequent footage after it came out, and we went, oh whoopsies, and we completely went back and rechanged that all, and remade the crystal so it had a little bit more accurate to the actual game itself. So that was quite
to the update of the game, yeah.
That was a really interesting thing that we were. It's almost like a blessing and a curse, right, Chocks, that we had the ability to see it much earlier. But of course, and the license always does say it's subject to change and it's not always the final version. And it was quite interesting to make sure that we updated it to this version. So the version that was there before, the almost like the polygonal ones, that will remain in our vault, Chocks. And
that would have been a great addition for the original Spyro line.
Right. So almost like, so for example, if we were ever to make this in the OG style, because of course the reunited version is this style. Can you imagine we remade the OG style in this? You'd find that all of the, in fact, we can reuse the crystals, Chocks. To be honest with you, they throw them away. So that was quite an interesting thing. It was almost like the first time. Yeah. It was the first time for us actually to.
And we changed that very quickly as well. As soon as we knew about it, we went, whoa.
There were certainly no ifs or buts, Chocks. Yeah. We knew we had to change it, so it is what it is. So it was, it's definitely something we wanted to do. And of course, Chocks, the black riser at the bottom, it's really a nod towards the original OG Spyro. People will see them side by side when we do a comparison shot a little bit later on, but it made sense for us to consider that people may be one who might consider buying both, and as a result we wanted them to sort of be a bit more matching, Chocks. Alright, is there anything you want to add before we go on to the next question?
No.
Alright, nice one.
Yeah. Alright. Measurements. Is that right? Oh no, sorry, my bad. Oh, next question from the beat Kurt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, one more question before the measurements. Was there ever any thought in the design process regarding doing color variants of Spyro or even Sparks, who changes color depending on his health?
Great question. So there is always, we just want to say that there might be possible variants afterwards. What you really want to do is just sort of consider how this might be doing first, and if people want to see color variants. I know it's something that we've been thinking about doing for our Spyro Reunited TF, our PVC line. And maybe what we might do is just test that out with some PVC ones and see how the response goes to that, and then maybe apply that to this as well. But let me hear from what you guys think. We would love to hear from you guys. Let us know in the comments below. Let us know in our Facebook group. We'd love to hear what you say.
Favorite cheat code color.
Exactly, right, Chocks. In terms of the measurement, Chocks, let's do this then.
Okay. There's always a code can test. These are Hong Kong cans, so
it's 330, yep. Then for American ones, that's 330 cans here, and this is just very, very slightly under 330 ml cans, so you can have a better idea of expecting what kind of shelf space you need, at least height-wise,
Yeah.
based on this. So, it's pretty manageable. Typically, when you have an animal-based one, it's usually not very tall, because they're flat on the ground, and as you know, a human stands up straight, it's usually quite tall, not very deep. Whereas this one, of course, it's in the air, and therefore it's a little bit higher than expected, certainly compared to the original OG one.
I mean, just to taking the measurements earlier on, this is a very nice rounded piece, as in like it's very.
Good use of space.
That's right, yeah.
Spoiler alert, Shocks.
Well, we're talking about it. We might as well go for it. Yes. So, height-wise, right, the tallest point of that, which will be the horn, to the bottom of the base. I have that around about 17.5 inches, so that's 45 centimeters. For the width, I'm basing that the way he's looking at the camera front on. I have that 16 inches across, so the width is like that, 16 inches across. That's 41 centimeters. And for the depth, based on the previous angle, just measuring it back from the furthest front part of Spyro to the furthest part of the back, which is the largest crystal on the back. That is 15 inches in depth, so that's 38 centimeters. 17.5, 16, 15.
Square.
And it's almost a square shape, so yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I think it's a lot of a good use of the space.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are concerned about the sizes and all this sort of thing. I think this is a great sort of overall piece in terms of the size and the ratio between the figure itself compared to the base, etc., etc. I think it's pretty well done.
It's very even rounded.
Right.
So the weight of this, of course, guys, this is a prototype, so weights can change depending on the parts and the insides, etc., etc. For the statue here, it's 5.26 kg.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, as always, Chocks, this is the prototype, as you said. I always want to caveat this point, as we're not sure the final materials. Of course, the majority of it is going to be resin, but there may be some areas once we get further down into the development line with the actual factory at the time.
So the weight
we might be
of
tweaking this here,
this,
tweaking
guys,
that
this is
there.
a
Maybe it
prototype,
might be in a
so
different material, it might be PVC, it might be
weights can
ABS,
change,
might be
depending
whatever
on
it
the
is.
parts, the
Just
size, etc.
The answer is we don't have that information now, and
Take
it's
that as a rough estimate right now, 5.26,
Yeah.
but it's not going to go into crazy numbers. It's not going to add another 5 kgs.
Yeah, that's right. But just
You
wanted
just
to
give or
say,
take, yeah.
material-wise, we just wanted to just be clear about that sort of stuff for now. That it can change. Okay.
All right, shout outs. So that is your part. So what are shout outs? Basically, from what I was saying in the Collectors Club, in that thread for the documentary, in there I will randomly add a comment saying first 10 people to reply to that comment will get a shout out from you.
All right, boom, let's do it. All right, shout out to Derek Baker. Are you serious right now? You've got so many shout-outs, I don't even know what's going on. You sort of like sneakily get him in there.
He slips me a
Exactly, he says, let me know when you're about to... Shout out to Georgia Martin, though she's a huge fan of Spyro. Brenton Freely, he's a massive fan as well. What's going on, mate? Yvonne Horrocks, how you doing? Rafael Melgoza, how you doing? Rafael Conafal, how you doing? Shout out to Christos Chatsivzavas. How did that's a new
That's
one
a
there,
new
Chucks.
one,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, nice one. Ronald Jacobs in the house. How you doing, mate? We got Martin Angel. How's it going? And last but not least, Mona Lisa.
Monya.
Monya, indeed. I'm sure that's not a real name. All right, Chocks. So, as always, Chocks, this is
The standard edition.
standard edition. What you
Yeah.
see is what you get. It's fantastic looking piece. The beautiful sculpted waves, the crystals.
No real crystals.
Indeed.
But crystals.
Crystals,
No,
indeed.
crystals, but no real crystals.
The Sparks and Spyro, of course,
Yeah.
themselves. If you've been a observant person, and you've been keeping an eye as we've been spinning this bad boy, Chocks, what would someone have noticed at the back over here?
Well, as always, there for this, there is a button, a circular button on the back, and also a kind of a USB port there. See that USB?
Micro
port?
USB, absolutely.
That's right. And then there's a little LED indicator there, which indicates that there is power for this statue.
Now I wonder why that would be, because, well, that we also offer, Chocks, in addition to the standard version, which you should be able to pick up from us, but also your local retailer.
Yeah,
You
sure,
know, if
yeah.
they don't offer it, tell them to get in contact with us so that they can help supply it for you. We also offer an exclusive version, Chocks, and that one is only available on our website. And the exclusive version is the same as the standard, except for one small difference, and that is, boom! Check that out, guys. Oh, actually, it was pretty strong, actually. We were really bright studio lighting here, and that is quite significant in terms of being able to see that. Now, what do we see here, Chocks? Over to you.
Well, instant game changer there, right? On and off. Yep, they're spinning around. Yep, lights in the ocean.
And that is also bringing out the effect of the crystal itself.
Because they're all translucent, you can see how the lights are coming through the resin, the clear resin, and then you can see how it's, affecting the surrounding crystals. So you see the light coming there.
That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. And the light effect really has a nice bounce to the underside of the actual the piece itself. You can really sort of see it on the underbelly.
Yeah.
One thing though, Chocks, is you like doing it on and off just to sort of see it, but what happens when you push the button one more time, Chocks? Right now we have it as the always on mode for the LEDs. Or if we push it one more time, Chocks, check that out. So this again is the kind of parting of the waves. You can really see how it constantly kind of, it has the middle line over here and it spreads and opens them out like that. You see that? The way it spreads it, opening it out like that. It gives you a nice sort of gentle wave opening up as it's opening, as he's skimming across the surface. And it really highlights the white of the tips. It kind of really comes out like that. You can really sort of see it. And again, if you ask me to turn them off and on again, it's a little bit more obvious now. Turn it off. And then boom.
Yeah.
See that? Yeah. And then one more time, Chocks.
The animated mode.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So guys, this is running on a 18650 battery. It's like kind of a long type-ish battery there. Those batteries are interchangeable and rechargeable as well. So even if you don't want to use a battery, you can always use the included USB cable as well to run the actual the electronics for this piece.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it really, I think it really complements the piece quite a lot because we have the use of this clear resin everywhere, and it allows for us to really better see some of the things.
So just having this on the shelf, and like I said previously, adding a few more lights around the shelf, it's going to bring out all the other the gems, and having the purples and the blue bouncing off a white background, for example, just makes this whole thing a bit more on another level.
Sure, that's right. Now, one of the things I wanted to sort of highlight is, we always want to make sure that people have all the information that they need to know. If you have a look with the light, it does sort of highlight these areas here. I call it a necessary evil. Maybe that's too much of a terminology, but because this is translucent, Chocks, you can see the insert of these hefty pins that go into these pieces to hold up the characters themselves. Because it's resin, right? Yeah. So maybe we can sort of see it. I want to highlight it there. You can see it there. You can see it quite obviously from there at this angle. There. That's right, and that's for sparks. And if we flip it to the other side over here,
you don't need to flip it. You can see one right here. You see one.
Oh yeah, Spyro's one's there. There.
That one.
And just so you can see
those two areas.
Just so you can see it over here as well. It's a little bit deeper because right now this is a bit farther. It's a little bit deeper.
You can see it now. Yeah. Turn it back there. There, you can see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So quite interesting actually, if you turn it off, it's not as, of course it's still there, it's translucent, right? But when you turn it on, oh sorry, it wasn't even off. So, where the hell's it gone? We're just looking at this one over here, right?
Which one are you looking at?
I'm looking at this one in particular here.
Okay.
Maybe if I just turn it over here, just so we can see it. There, okay? If you turn it on, stop there. Maybe you can slightly see it more. When it comes to this sort of thing, the engineering is really important. That the size of the peg, etc., and the depth that it goes into the pieces is in a way that doesn't lead to any issues later on down the road. So it's going to have an effect on the aesthetics. So you can see it. As I said, we wanted to point it out to you guys here because it's important that you have all the information when it comes to buying this piece. If there is anything that we can do to improve it, we'll look into it later on. But just wanted to show you guys that it is. What's interesting, Chocks, is Spyro himself is quite a heavy beast, and as a result, we have 2 connection points. Chocks, did you notice that?
Yeah.
One is in this piece over here. So there's 2 parts in this one. One is at the top, which is sparks, and one is at the bottom, which is one of the pegs.
Yeah.
And the other one is over here, Chocks. So there's 2. 1, 2 that connects and anchors Spyro to the piece itself. So, I'm turning it around. It seems pretty sturdy to me, Chocks. We're going to keep, of course, doing our internal tests, transit tests, aging tests, all that sort of stuff, because we know this is incredibly, ambitious with the engineering on this, and it's definitely something that we've taken into account at the expense of some of the aesthetics with this over here. But it is what it is, Chocks.
Yeah, it has to have some connecting point to hold this piece and make it look like it's gliding.
Exactly right. All right, Chocks. So measurements. Well, I think this is going to be an easy one, Chocks.
It's exactly the same as the standard for measurements.
Absolutely.
Okay, so again, I just want to highlight. So the height is 17.5, which is 45 centimeters. The width is 16 inches, so that's 41 centimeters, and the depth is 15 inches and 38 centimeters.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah. So the weight could be slightly different because obviously one has electronics and the other doesn't. So there will be some slight changes when it comes to the actual weight.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, Chocks. Let's keep on going.
Okay, next question. Luke Matthew, will there ever be a life-size Spyro?
Interesting. Well, Chocks, I can say we've already teased a life-size Spyro bust that's going to be in. It's going to be in our development pipeline. In fact, it's already at the physical stage just recently, and we're doing both a life-size version and a grand-scale bust. So a life-size bust and a grand-scale bust, and we look forward to showing you guys that as it develops. And it's an exciting piece. I mean, it looks fantastic, and I think it will just be a great compliment to anybody's Spyro collection. So more on that. Stay tuned, guys.
Cool. All right. Last but not least, John Agnew. Could you do a picture with all the different Spyros next to each other? Would love to see all them purple boys.
Ask and ye shall receive, and you'll see that in 3, 2, 1. Boom! Check it out, guys. You can now really have a better idea of seeing how Spyro Reignited resin compares to Spyro OG. And of course, Spyro Reignited PVC TF. And of course, over there on your side, Chocks.
Oh, OG Spyro
Crystal Dragon, exactly. So you have a better idea of how they might look in a collection. Now, you'll immediately see that the reignited resin is quite a bit bigger if you just sort of compare the size of it. If you just give us a bit of a turn, Chocks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, one of the things is, of course, is that, the head is pretty similar in terms of, in fact, his head is slightly bigger compared to this head, but the sleekness of the body is much more sleek with the this version of the reignited version. So overall, it's definitely a bigger footprint, and of course, when you add Sparks along there, in fact, a lot of people were actually saying, why wasn't Sparks with this piece itself? And the reason, of course, for that was it's not on the front cover. Now, we didn't have that issue with this reignited version, so therefore we had the ability to include him, and because we weren't trying to copy a cover or what have you. So, yeah, definitely this is quite a bit bigger than this one over here, and when you then added all the environmental base as well to it, it's something that we knew that we had to make sure was robust enough to support such an ambitious pose, Chocks. So yeah, I mean, that's what we're at. And in terms of the coloring with the OG Spyro, of course, the TF, I know a lot of people actually have the Spyro TF in their collection as well. You have a better idea of how they might look together, and well, it's, how do I say, quite the bigger brother, I would say. All right, Chocks, I think that's pretty much it. Is there anything you want to add before we wrap this one up?
No, it's just a really nice evolution from the classic Spyro world here, moving on to the reignited versions over there. So.
It's such an honor to be able to work on this, Chocks, and we look forward to doing more and more in the Spyro range. All right, Chocks, we're done for this one. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'm your host, Alex.
I'm Chockles.
FRF is love.
FRF is life.
And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Later.
can't even transition properly. Wait a second. Oh dear, this didn't go well. I forgot what I'm doing here.
Later.
Boom! What is up, guys? What do you guys think? That was the debut of Spyro Reignited Resin. We hope like you like what you see. We've been working on that, as we said. You know, had the... I just want to go over it one more time. For us, it's a first that we've been so fortunate that we could work on something before it was even finalized. That the crystals themselves, when we first did it, it's in the vault right now. Perfectly smooth rectangular crystals, which is it's really clear now. But it didn't look like it was low res, if that makes sense. It didn't look like it was low res in that footage. But when the game came out, we went, oh, holy smokes, we need to change that. Whew. It was, you know, it's definitely something that is a first for us over here. What did you guys think, guys? So, Femke likes it, much appreciated. Tosha, thank you for the kind words. Sarah likes it, much appreciated. Elena likes it. Gamer's not all about that. That's fair enough. Turjay likes it. That's great. Ashlyn is scared on the price. You should be. It is pretty, well, it is what it is. We've got Lauren says, looks superb. Can't buy another one, though. You know, Lauren, look after yourself. These are just, you know, life comes first, for sure, every time. Jessica Benson likes it, much appreciated. Carolina likes it, that's awesome. And Renee likes it as well. I really appreciate that. Taylor's asking for the pricing. We will get to that. Matthew McClory is saying he's liking it. How about that price? You know, appreciate Matthew. You know, go check out Spyro Universe on Twitter. They just hit 20K. Nice. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Justin Slice loves it. I appreciate that. Anthony Pierce. Hey, some great words. Really great comments. Thanks very much, Ryan, as well. Loves the crystal implementations. Did you guys know that it was going to be the crystals? If you have an eagle eye, you would have been able to see, Chocks, at that Christmas reveal, that there was the swish and the... In fact, if you look at it, Chocks, it might even be the OG crystal. It must be. Let me look it up right now. I think it's probably the OG crystal.
Shown a little bit more than we wanted.
Well, no, it's just that then people necessarily know when they don't know what they're looking at. It's probably what it is.
I would have thought guys would like really look into our pictures, you know, scrutinize it, every little detail.
Meh. So
they do that during the stream. It's like, what's in that corner over there?
Right. Wait a sec. This is Christmas 2008. What? Christmas 2018.
17 maybe?
Last year we showed this one. This time we showed... What? I think we... What? Go. Oh. No, it's saying it's coming up. Don't miss it. Don't be sure not to miss the 100th episode. So this is not the actual one. So if I type in Spyro the Dragon. Let's see if we can see it.
Probably can. Maybe it's even in the...
Here you go.
In the
it's right
teaser.
Here. Yeah, you can absolutely... Oh my god, you totally can see it. Let's see if I can get this to actually appear.
It's shown a lot there.
Yeah, I know. Let's see if you guys can see this.
It's shown a lot there.
So if I put this over here...
Yeah, guys, you know, I really like the comments about how the statue is very dynamic.
Hope I haven't done the wrong one. Let me see if I got this right. The documentary.
We'll get to the pricing, guys.
All right, check this out, guys.
Soon, guys.
Look right there. First of all, you can see the swish here. So that wasn't. Yeah, that was kind of. That was there before, right? Oh, can you see my? Can you see my mouse? Can you see my mouse?
Yeah.
Oh, you can.
Yeah.
You can see the swish here, right? You can see the swish here, and look at those. There you go. The very, very polygonal design of the crystals. Before we all looked at it and went, whoopsies! That is not right. So if you guys listen to what we were saying in the documentary, that was a first for us, Chocks, where we had it such the honor to be able to do it earlier on and then be able to sort of see that. Oh, they knew. Okay. We knew it was Christmas when you... All right. Awesome. Hey, Michaela, we're going to go through that very, very soon. But before we go into all of that good stuff, Chocks, I think people want to know what's going on. We have a beautiful trailer hype video for you guys to check out. Enoch and Ting again are stepping up the quality.
Yeah,
There's lots of 3D in there as well. And I think it's actually to the point where you can see the teaser, they had that kind of spinning effect, all that sort of stuff. It actually meant that people were like, is this a new game? It wasn't quite that. Thanks, Wolfgang. I appreciate the kind comments. So when it comes to the actual piece itself, the trailer, I should say, we will run that now, Chocks, unless there's anything you want to add before we do that.
No, we'll get straight into the information.
Straight into that, and then we'll go right into the information after that. All right, guys, so let me just prepare that for you, and then we will see you on the other side once I get this all nicely set up. Boom, turn that on, turn on the thingy bob, make sure we don't get double sound. Hopefully it's okay, and we'll see you on the other side. What did you guys think of that? Didn't Ting and Enoch did a fantastic job on that trailer. I really love the step up in the quality.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You guys see the difference between the day and night?
The way it
Yeah.
swishes right in. Swishes
So
right
for the
in.
teaser, we kind of use the day, and in the hype video, we use the night.
Right.
Yeah, so it kind of flows.
Yeah. Why is subject to final approval still in the video? Seems like it's been approved. That's a good point. Just
not?
by default, we just
have
sit
it
there.
Just have it there.
That way you can always be like,
Yeah. Always there.
Absolutely.
Yes. So
Absolutely.
Amber saying, yo, we just need the spiral skateboarding. Next.
Aye.
Maybe, yeah.
Does someone forget about those sunglasses?
Yeah, those sunglasses.
Yeah,
as
exactly.
Well.
You know, one of those versions. Because, you know, you can't have enough Spyro, right? Oh, more Spyro. Thanks, Lynn. Yeah, they did a really great job on that trailer. Really did a great job on that trailer. All right, Chocks, I think that it's time to talk about the pricing and all that other sort of stuff. And
Well, I just want to start off and say that, you know, guys, we read the comments. I know some of you guys, as always, you might be watching us the very first time. You're not sure how things work, what things we offer, etc. You know, as always, we do have multiple warehouses. So it's 5 warehouses: China, UK, US, Canada, and Slovakia, which is EU. So if you're in those regions, we'll take care of the fees, the custom tax, etc. So the shipping cost that we mentioned a little bit later on, that is the shipping cost that you would only need to pay. All right, no additional fees, etc. if you're around those regions that I just mentioned for those warehouses. Okay, so again, I understand that collecting statues can be a costly hobby. We trying to do as best as we can and offer as much services to you as possible, hence why we have up to 12 months flexi payment plans. So if this is your first resin, we do not and we never ever take full payment right away. We only take a 10% deposit for this resin. With all resins, it's a 10% deposit, and then you can choose a flexi payment plan up to 12 months. Okay, if at any time you have issues with payments and stuff, we do also offer deferment, on a weekly basis now. It used to be 1 month at a time, but now we allow you to defer a payment on a weekly basis. All right, just make sure that you go into your orders and see what options you have available, or just ask any guys in the club that are able to help you as well. Okay, right, so the pre-order is going to start after the stream. Okay, so after the stream,
So
okay.
Answer Lala's question as well. 'Cause she doesn't
Lala
obviously
Garcia.
know how.
I get paid until next Friday. Will I still be able to pre-order? That's okay. So as I was saying, pre-orders will start tonight. You have up until next Friday to reserve your Spyro. Actually, you can actually reserve the Spyro at any time, even after next Friday. But if you want the signature edition, you have to come back next Friday to validate. And what that means is that once you validate it, you get some extra free bonuses, like reward points, signature card, etc. So you can reserve after the stream, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, up until next Friday, and come back and validate on that Friday. If you miss validation, no problem. You can still pre-order, reserve, etc. after that. Okay. So just want to highlight that it's not like 5 days done. We will open the pre-orders until, my understanding, until 6th of September. Okay, so you have all that time to pre-order. If it reaches 6th of September and we don't hit a certain number, for example 1,000 pieces, the pre-orders will continue to open until it's ready to go into production. Don't worry, we will let you know at that point. There will be a last chance week for you guys to jump onto the actual pre-order. Okay, so we will give out plenty of notices before we close the pre-orders. All right, so maybe you got to wait until next month. Maybe you got to wait until like this. What was it now? August. Maybe you got to wait until September to pre-order. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. So the pre-order is open from tonight up until 6th of September. Okay, but validation is next Friday, 9th of August. Okay.
Answer Anushka.
Anushka, what if you do FlexiPay and you need to cancel it after a while when you paid a couple of payments? So in that case, if you're going to do Flexi payment plan and all of a sudden you feel like, hey, I want to cancel the Flexi payment plan and pay at the very end when it's ready to ship, that's no problem as well. So you can actually cancel the Flexi payment plan and then pay the remaining balance once the item is finished production and ready to ship out.
And what happens if she cancels it? Cancels it. As in cancels it.
Cancels order, the entire order?
Yeah.
Well, from now up until next Friday, let's say you make a wrong decision. You actually place a standard edition and you thought, hey, I actually wanted the exclusive version. Let's say you
can. But in this case, she's done a couple of pre-orders, payments already in this example.
Well, for in this scenario, there will be a non-refundable deposit. So that deposit, we would have to take that, the non-refundable deposit. And then any subsequent monthly flexi payment plan, there will be a $5 charge.
So if you've done it for 2 months on the flexi pay, then it's $5 per one.
Yeah, so that's $10 in total, plus the NRD as well.
Right.
Okay.
All right, so is it...
Yeah, so take the time, guys. I mean, after the stream, we will post all that stuff that we just posted earlier, the documentary, the hype video, how to pre-order. There will be an FAQ explaining how to pre-order, how to validate. All that information will be there on our website, on the Facebook main page in the Collectors Club as well. So, you know, there should be no misunderstanding at all. But if you do still have concerns, do ask in the club.
What's up, Tiago? Right, so just want to say one thing. Just want to reiterate what Choco said. It is, if we don't by the September the 6th, you said, reach 1,000 units, not a number, like it is 1,000 units, right? 1,000 units. We will keep it open. We will keep it open until it goes into production. We're not going to keep monitoring it to see whether or not it hits 1,000 units. We'll just keep it open until production. Okay. The other thing is, if it hits 1,000, we need to let people know that the 6th of September is the last day, and then they will go to waitlist. If we've seen that we've hit it hits 1,000
during that period.
During that period, we can let people know. Okay, guys, thanks very much. We've hit 1,000 units. We will definitely be closing it on the 6th of September. Hopefully we can tell that people that at least a week before that closes, we can notify people that. I guess is the way you would sort of look into it. The only time I would say that if it goes beyond the 6th, maybe what we'd do is, let's say just on the 6th, it hits 1,000. We would say, okay, you have a last chance weekend or something like that. We'll just something like that, because people need to know. They need to have some warning that we're closing it. If that makes sense. That's the important thing. So, just for people who are asking whether or not this is a new line, it totally is a new line. So all new numbers are up for grabs on validation next week. This is the Spyro Reignited resin range. So that is different from the OG one, of which Spyro OG plus Crystal Dragon OG is one part of the range. This is the Spyro Reignited range. I know people are asking, hey, how about something like Ripto? All these other characters, Nasty, all of these sort of things. We're getting more excited about the idea if we have that flexible pre-order system where we have it kind of like a stretch goals, that sort of thing. I'm getting quite excited about that idea of doing that sort of thing. So, yeah, this is absolutely the reignited version of Spyro. Now, in case people didn't hear, it was only one single sentence in their chocks, right? In case people didn't hear, there is the possibility of variants in the future, okay? Cheat code colors, power-ups, all these sort of things. We want to make sure that your decision of purchasing this piece is informed as possible, to know that there is the possibility of color variants, or companion pieces we call them, in the future. So please do bear that in mind when you hear the price, hear the strategy behind everything. Now, there is something that we have been talking about. I'm going to go into the pricing now. Is there anything that you want? No? Okay. No. There is something that you need to understand of how things have happened. I talked about it last week, and I need to really reiterate what that means. Things are going up in price, and it's going up in price in a way that is quite uncomfortable for us, because we know we're at that point where a lot of people's entry into figurines, especially for new time gamers or what have you, purchasing into the realm of high-end figurine collectibles. Now, there is something about wholesale, so when you take something like a wholesale, as an example, right, what happens is wholesalers, retailers, they buy it with a percentage off, of course, and what happens is the wholesale business is, there's an SRP, and they take a percentage of that, take it off, they buy in bulk, they buy 50 pieces, 100 pieces, etc., etc. And the problem is, that's been fixed at a certain percentage for many, many years, but in recent times, it's got to the point where it's getting much harder as the cost of manufacturing increases, but our SRP cannot increase in proportion, because it just hit a brick wall with that. It means that we have to take a stance, and the stance is this. We either increase our SRP in order to get wholesale orders, because the higher the unit cost is, as a proportion of SRP, as the unit price increases and the wholesale price is fixed, if we don't increase the SRP to match the increase in costs, it means that there is that we cannot give it to wholesale, because the wholesale price is less than what we pay the factory, implying that every single wholesale price piece that we sell, we actually lose money because it costs more money to us from the factory than it does from than we get from the wholesaler, which is something that's ridiculous to hear compared to like 3 years ago or 4 years ago, right? Where of course, wholesale business was wholesale business. Now, so this is really difficult for us because the pricing that we do is really reflective of what we're trying to offer to you guys, basically. And it's going to be that the price to us has risen so much, but we cannot increase the SRP too much as well because we know the realities of what things are. And the reason why the prices have gone up because there's new competition in the market and the factories have the pick of the bunch, etc., etc. Anyways, I don't want to keep going on about this. What it does mean is the following. This is decimating our wholesale business, unfortunately, because we cannot, so we increase the price of the SRP, but not in proportion to what it's being charged to us, because we need to keep the prices as low as we can. If you compare our prices to other people, I think you'll know that what we say is quite clear. Now, if we don't have a wholesale business anymore, it means we have no safety net. What do I mean by safety net, Chocks? What I mean by that is we have to make a certain number for it to go into production. If we don't hit that minimum number, the project gets cancelled. And it's not the first time we've had to do that, right, Chocks? Mm-hmm. Now, we have to bet that if we keep the SRP artificially low, that we get enough orders on our website that covers the fact that we don't have a wholesale business anymore for this particular piece. So that's what we have to bet here, and we're going to bet that this is the right decision to make. We're going to artificially keep the price way lower than what it should be at the detriment to our wholesale business, but with the understanding that hopefully you guys, step up to support us, which of course we'd appreciate that, but also in the knowledge that in the future that there is a possibility of variance that's going to help us even the cost across all the pieces. If we look at it as that the loss that we make in no more wholesale business really means that we can sort of make that up with future variance. I mean, that's kind of where we're coming from. That's the price logic behind that. So I just wanted to give you an idea. So why wholesale at all? Chris, you're right. It's very likely that this won't be up for wholesale. I think it's going to be priced out for wholesale. It'll be very interesting. There's one more thing that I also want to say. We don't guarantee a couple of things. The first thing is we don't guarantee that both standard and exclusive versions have different boxes. It's getting too costly now to have separate boxes. Most people, if you know, they usually use stickers to indicate what version it is. It's very likely that we will have the exclusive packaging as the main packaging, and if it's a standard version, we will most likely put a sticker on that to indicate it's a standard version. And the other thing, but the authenticity cards, etc., they will be different. That's standard affair. And one more thing is that the materials, everything needs to be subjected to safe, aging testing, bending testing, transit test, all that sort of stuff. We need to go through that process. That we might find that some materials need to change. PVC might be for the wings here. Maybe we need to change this for that. All that sort of stuff. We don't know 100% at this stage. It's part of the process. So we just point blank on any product we do, which is say it's generally resin. It's subject to some areas that may change, of which we will notify you in the future where that is. So just to be clear about that. All right, so the price. If you're in the know, you're going to know this is a pretty decent price. Chocks, I'm scared. How much is a cup of coffee nowadays, Chocks?
Has coffee price gone up?
I don't know, has it gone up in proportion?
There's more people drinking coffee, obviously the coffee price will come down.
No. Yeah, Starbucks is like, yeah, no worries, mate.
Because they're offering extra premium stuff, right?
What is the price of coffee nowadays that you had the other day? Work phone Gmail account, yes. All the standards and exclusive have had different boxes. The price of coffee, please. Somebody help me out here. Who doesn't drink $4.50? $7. Damn, $5.78, $5.
These must be drinking the good stuff. He's drinking the good stuff.
Drinking the good stuff. All right, we're gonna make it easy. I'm gonna call it $5. All right. So, in a month, if you go on the 12-month plan, you will have to forego 6 cups of coffee. 6 cups of coffee you'll have to forego in order to hold that for a year, in order to get yourself this Spyro Reignited resin piece. Now remember, you must pay a 10% deposit, and then you take the remaining amount and you divide that by 12. It means the SRP on this bad boy, $425. $424.99. That's a $42.50 10% NRD, which is to be taken upon placing the order. And then if you go on a 12-month flexi pay plan, it is $31 a month. $31 a month. So, $424.99. It is way lower than expected, and I told you the reason why. It's because it shouldn't be like that. It just is. I've given you the reasons for that, and I'm hand on my heart. It's just the reality that we're facing now, and I've sort of talked about that earlier in other streams. And what that means for our business moving forwards, it means that these resins become quite. Let's just say diversity is important. Sabrina, as I said, these prices are not what they should be. Look around and see what other people are doing. Other people... No, I'm not going to go into that. Okay, so Chocks, over to you.
All right, so guys, you got the pricing, you understand the flexi payment plans, and you also understand the warehouses as well. So I've pretty much covered all that. Now it's just down to the shipping costs. All right, as collectors always have concern, the shipping cost is also part of the overall price. Okay, but just want to highlight the shipping cost does cover the duties and the fees if you are within that region. Okay, so what I'm going to mention now is the price of the shipping cost you would only need to pay. All right, so for zone 1, that is United States, that is $65 US. Okay, $65 US for zone 1, United States. For EU, zone 2, all right, EU, that is also $65 US. Okay, for Canada, you're a zone 8, that is $85 US. Okay, for zone 8, Canada, $85 US. For Australia, all right, zone 9, Australia, that is $145 US. Okay, 145 for Australia. For zone 3 and 4, that is Egypt, Cyprus, Ecuador, Costa Rica, Iceland, Mexico. That is $145 US. Okay, guys, so don't worry if you missed out on the shipping costs. The prices will be highlighted in the FAQ as well. Once we go offline, that information will be posted on the main page, Facebook, etc. Or if you wanted to, you can just do a dummy checkout and then you can see how much it costs for shipping at your region. Okay. Any more questions, guys? So my understanding, the estimated release date, as always, guys, these are estimation, okay? It's currently at the 4th quarter of 2020. So 4th quarter means October, November, December. Okay, it's not the very first day of October. It's just sometime within those 3 months. Okay. If there's any delay in production, we will most likely highlight that during one of our production videos updates, or a weekly Q&A updates, or even an email will be sent out with regards to payment delays, and then even if you do go into your order, it will tell you that the payment is due at a later date.
Thanks, work phone, Gmail account. One of these days I'm going to figure out who you are. He says, Alex and Chocks, impressed with how you guys are holding out the prices so far. We know you can't keep it up forever. We love you for trying.
Yeah.
No, appreciate that. As I said, we looked at this overall and said, with the possibility of variance in the future, and with the fact that it's, I've got to admit, it's been pretty stressful over the last three weeks when some of the latest pre-order prices has been coming in. It's just been, it's been quite, concerned. Amber, yes, we're going to be putting this up for pre-order right after this stream.
That's right,
Is that right?
Amber.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Amber. Don't panic. Once we go live, just, take your time, enjoy the documentary, the hype video again.
Catherine, so you're absolutely right. I didn't mention that.
Yes, same price.
Catherine on YouTube, you're absolutely right.
So
the question is the same price.
$424.99 is the standard price.
$424.99. Sorry.
Yes, for the standard edition, and also the same pricing for the exclusive. The difference is the exclusive comes with the LED for the base, always on mode, and then animated mode as well.
Right. Thanks, Aramis. You're absolutely right. It is. I'm really fingers crossed on this one. It's we hope it was.
Well, we can't worry about it now.
It is what it is.
We just say it how it is on the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, guys, we look at the comments and say, 800, 1,000. It's like, hey, that would be a dream come true, but we're not about that. There's no way we can say, that's going to be that price. Like I said, diversity. That's why we do what we do with resins, and we do what we do with PVCs.
It has to be like that. Otherwise, it's going to only go one way, and that's going to keep going out and out. People are going to get priced out. I mean,
estimated release date 4th quarter 2020.
Neo Collection Neo, mate. There is no wholesale with this. I'm pretty sure it's going to be just. All right then, Chocks. Let's get this up right before I start puking
Guys, any more last minute questions?
My heart is beating
just make
1,000 miles an
sure
hour.
check out the information. Make sure if you do pre-order during this week, make sure you come back for validation next Friday for some extra goodies. We will be at the stream validating with you guys, and look forward to seeing.
Aramis, let me just be clear. He's asking, do you think other companies overcharge? I just want to be very clear about something. The prices from the factories have increased astronomically over the last few years. And the reason why is because there's so many new companies out there, but the factory numbers maintain the same. And what's quite interesting is I've been told all the factories know each other, and they all know they talk to each other and kind of collude on the pricing. And the reality is, when someone considers that they have to get the wholesale business as well, but their customer base is willing to pay the higher price point because maybe it's a bit more, not established is the word, but maybe, how do I say it? I feel like gaming is kind of like the entry point into video game, into high-end statues, whereas something like anime has more of a history, Comic book stuff has more of a history. Film collectors has more of a history. So collectors are more willing to pay the higher prices or more expecting of it. Whereas we know that we have a lot of people that have never even bought a single collectible before and don't get it. And those that do get it are willing to do that. And the factory is charging a higher price, and the other companies are willing to pay for it because they need to make sure that the quality is there, and they know that they can charge a higher price point and therefore maintain the margins of both on their own website and also maintain the wholesale website, the wholesale prices from their customers. Whereas for us, we're at that stage where if we maintain that SRP of lower SRP, it means something has to give, and that has to be the wholesale at this stage. And when it gets to the point where it starts cutting, when it keeps going up and up, well, that's where we have to start going into smaller scale statues and sort of bring that down for the resins. Also, why we're concentrating on PVC, where it's not so high, it's not so many, because it's much easier, lower barriers to entry to become a resin company than it is to do PVC. No doubt, you need a ton more investment to do PVC, and therefore the barriers are just that much higher. With resin, it's much easier. You're seeing that if you're in the industry or you know about the industry, that so many new players have come in the last few years, I would say, and that's why all the factories are like loving it, because if there is no need for the price to be low, because their capacity will always be full with other people. So that's the harsh reality we are facing.
Hey Lynn, so question is this a new line? Yes, it is. It's all new Spyro Reignited line. So this is the first statue in that line. So low numbers up for grabs. Eleanor, yes, as always with these light up features, the base does come with a USB port, and it also comes with a interchangeable, rechargeable, removable battery. So you get to use all the options. You can plug a USB cable, just use that alone. You can just recharge the battery in there and just use that alone, or just use both at the same time, okay?
Anytime, Erramiz. Alright guys, so we're going to wrap this up. There will be a feeding frenzy, of course, in the next 5-10 minutes. It is the first time on the new website. I've purposely made it really hard to find where to redeem the code, so it's like 3 people are... You got to go to my account, my rewards, and then enter code. It's like a couple of drop-down menus. We understand it's really not quite user-friendly right now. And we will work on that. So that's part of what we're going to be looking at next week. So do check out for that feeding frenzy in the next few moments ago on that. In the meantime, in the next 15 minutes or so, we will actually put Sparks and Spyro on the website for pre-order, and we hope you guys will come out and support us. So for those that do, we really appreciate it, and thanks so much. For those who are just checking it out and just appreciating what's going on, we thank you very much for that as well. So in any case, Chocks, it's time to wrap this up. Is there anything you want to add? Any shout outs? Anything that's on your list of things to do?
That's fine.
All right, guys. All right, Chocks.
All right.
That's another one done. As always, guys, we can't do it without you. We will, of course, be back at it again next week for Spyro Reignited's validation stream. As always, much appreciated. It is, of course, Friday Q&A Chocks with Chocks and a 128. It has been the 2nd of August 2019. Have a great day, America. Have a great evening, EU. You should be sleeping, Asia, and most certainly Australia. Thanks, guys. I'm your host, Alex.
I'm Chockles.
Ever is love. And we'll
life.
see you on the next one. Peace.
Laters.